Hey, good morning. Welcome to Burlington, Ontario. It's 2 degrees here in the Sunshine City of the Golden Horseshoe. If you're up this early, you must be some kind of diehard. You are here for the semifinal round of BlocBuster 2019, presented by Climbers Rock. I'm joined by Dustin Curtis. How you doing, Dustin?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
It's an early morning, man. But otherwise, we've had a chance to walk through the problems. We've talked to the route setters. And, of course, after qualifiers yesterday, we couldn't be more excited to find out which of these 20 men and 20 women are actually going to make it to this unique elimination finals.
I'm excited. I think that there's a lot of talent inside ISO, and everybody's really psyched to come out. The problems look dope. They're so good. It's very traditional BlocBuster style, though. You got to be good at pulling. We're in the city of Burlington, so burl is the key word there.
Burly boulders, man.
Yeah, burly boulders, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Yesterday in qualifiers, the men's round for the most part made it through to semis with just with 4 tops. I think we had 2 or 3 guys come through with 5 tops in total, maybe just Lucas and Dylan. For the women's field, it was a little more difficult. We had some people sneak through with 2 and 3 tops, if I remember correctly. But yeah, the unique thing about this event this year is that finals will be an elimination format.
Yeah, I'm excited. I probably will screw up at least once commentating for the finals. Just throwing it out there. But it seems that we're already underway. We have
that's Paul Begzinski from here in I think he lives north of Toronto, but he's a Toronto boy. He's on men's number 1 right now, which is, when we get a chance to look at that, for the most part featuring flat holds, their damage control line, so a lot of dual techs. And for the women out is Kaylee Mutter from Hamilton. This is her first BlocBuster. She's still in Youth A category, and Paul, of course, is in Open.
There's a lot of youth, actually, in our women's round. Also in our men's round, there's a lot of youth in the semifinal round. It's refreshing to see.
It's unique in Ontario because if you're from another province, for the most part at your sanctioned locals, the A and junior climbers get a chance to climb against open competitors on the regular, whereas currently in Ontario, there's no opportunity for that crossover. So aside from these Tour de Bloc events like BlocBuster, there's no chance to see our best A talents and our best junior talents actually compete in open, right? So this event has this extra cachet because it's the first time this season where we get to see the youth A's like Indiana Chapman and Riley Galloway go up against their open and junior counterparts. And aside from that, they've also offered some special invitations to some even younger climbers, which we actually saw come through into semis and some in really high places. So we get to see some B athletes as well who have been developing in the scene for only a couple years, but they show up at an open event and absolutely kill it in qualifiers.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. And it's awesome to see this kind of talent coming out across the board in all categories, right? Not only are we talking about like just the women's field, but also the men's field has some younger climbers as well, and it is a good opportunity for them to test their mettle against like seasoned open competitors.
Sure. While we're looking at Paul, I know you were talking to Caleb Thomas, who is the chief for the men's category. Can you talk a little bit about the actually, you know what? We'll just talk about Kaylee's problem here since she's about to start an attempt. So for the most part, we got some dimension volumes right off the start into a bunch of so-ill rectangles towards the top. Did you get any insight on what the moves are for this climb?
So I was talking to Nathan Lewis, who's the chief of the women's round, and he was giving me a little insight into like the decision making and what the process was of setting and forerunning these boulders. And the women's round in general, to me, looks very hard, but I think it's not undoable for them. Because we're only in the first boulders, it's kind of like it doesn't really lend itself to showing what the rest of the round looks like, but the rest of the round looks real hard for the girls.
I noticed kind of when I looked at the difficulty of the 2 different styles was that on the men's problem, my first impression was that there was a certain amount of sustained difficulty through all of the problems, where for the women, I seem to notice what looked to me like stopper moves and cruxes on each of the climbs.
Like the women's round, you can tell that there's 2 chiefs working here because you can see the different styles and different decision makings, different decision processes made. For example, like in the men's round, all of the zones are very far into the boulders, where the women's round looks like the zones are pretty early on. Who's this coming out?
So the next climbers out for the women is Marina Suvrova, and for the men is David Gilbert. This is Marina Suvrova's first BlocBuster. She's only been in Canada for, it sounds like, about a year or two. I was speaking to her, so she was a national level competitor as a child in Russia. And now that she's back in Canada after, it sounds like she stopped in the States and Turkey, she's settling in Canada, and she's back to comp climbing now. So this is her first BlocBuster with us. And then for the men, David Gilbert, who is in the junior category, and he actually walked away with first place in junior boys earlier on. It might be youth A, but I want to say it's junior. I'm pretty sure it's junior. Yeah, it's junior. He's in there with Man Ellis, Mitchell Haight, Zach Richardson. He's in that age group as well.
So this so this starting position is interesting. I think those yellow dimension volumes are worse than I don't know if you got a chance to feel these holds.
No, they looked glossy though.
Yeah, they're a lot worse than what they look like. And the starting position is just kind of off. You can tell that she's trying to bring her foot up to, like, she brings her foot up to tag the start, but it doesn't really sit well. It's an interesting starting position. I think it adds a level of complexity to the boulder because usually, like, initially, I would want my two starting points to be on that bottom left volume, but the route setters made the decision to make it like an awkward tap, which I think I like it. I'm trying to decide if I actually do or not.
It does seem awkward. Now, this is the problem that was really interesting to me. I really like how this problem looks. So David Gilbert giving it a burn there. The start, for the most part, is very compression-y climb, and I'm interested to see how the finish goes, just because the surfaces are kind of unique in different screw-ons. And I kind of wish the setters hardened up and put that dual tech side of the blocks volume facing up, but it's only semifinals. I guess I can't throw too much shade in their direction just yet. For this women's start, once you establish the start, do you expect kind of a gentle rock over left to that innie, or is it going to be fairly like all points? You kind of cut and swing and campus.
I would expect it to be a very all points cut off, but I think it'll be one of the more gentler cuts.
Okay.
I think like the nuance of this move is that it needs to be a slow and patient kind of jump instead of like the all 4 points off rocker loading and just like violent.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It does. Am I seeing right that there's a jib on the?
There
top
is
of
a jib on the. I guess it would be like 2 o'clock. It's one of the small Technic tiptoes.
Sure.
I think it adds that level of like coming in and catching. Instead of just like one hand manhandling that.
Trying to get two hands in the
oh my god!
Kind of thing. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
For the men's one that we're seeing David Gilbert look at, aside from all of the damage control features, can you tell what's on the ridge of that large volume?
Okay, so on that Blocks dual text volume, there is a kilter screw-on, which is part of their geode set. I forget the name of it.
I think it's just the Ian's geode.
Yeah. Like, so there's that, and then there's a Necros. I originally thought it was a cheetah screw-on, but Caleb informed me that it's actually a Necros, part of their new line. And it has like a little bit of dual text on it to keep the dual text theme going.
Gotcha. So the zone though is the
it's the kilter, yeah.
Okay.
And it's hard to see on the live stream, but like both of those are actually fairly good.
Sure.
They're just covered in chalk.
Sure. So that was the 1 minute mark left for David and Marina. David getting on for maybe one last try.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I haven't really been tracking his zones. If you guys want to see where the scores fall, we'll probably pull those up on the screen at some point. But all the information you need about this event through semifinals right now and through finals at 7 p.m. tonight, you can find all of that info at BlocBuster.ca. The scores are being updated live, from what I understand. That might be when each climber has done their round. Those will be inputted. So you can catch it all there. You can also see, of course, the results from the previous rounds, who's been competing, and then there's the link to the live stream there. So if you're trying to share this video with everybody else, you can just send them to blockbuster.ca, and they can find it all there. Our next climbers out for the women is Lestine Passion from Toronto and Raul Sapra from Oakville, Ontario. I guess maybe living in London right now for school.
Also a Climbers Rock ambassador.
Yes, yeah, or an athlete. I think there's 2 tiers. But yeah, he's one of the boys.
Okay.
And going back onto, or starting our first attempts on men's and women's 2, is Paul and Kaylee.
So Nathan was telling me that women's number 2 is the hardest of the round, and it's kind of a boulder where it basically tests physical strength.
So you're talking about the blue one with all of the mammoth rub? Yeah.
There's like no tech. There's no sneakiness to it. It's just straight up, are you good at pulling? So
to be clear, it looks like you get 4 points on, and then are you just dynoing to that big kind of like crescent moon thing on the volume?
Yeah, so that crescent moon has like a blocker in the back of it that makes it not so good. Instead of it being the jug, well, Rahul is actually like.
So Rahul's got both hands on the almost got out to the.
I think that's a really good go. I think he's onto something with that toe hook.
That's the furthest progress I've noticed so far.
Having said that, we've only had 3 climbers.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, Raul, like coming out of semis, I would have expected him to finish higher. So I feel like he's probably one of the climbers that will rank up after semis. And of course, he's one of my picks for finals.
Yeah. You had to slide that in there, eh?
Hey, man, I got to look out for myself. If I'm cheering for anybody.
For those of you that don't know, we did have a fantasy draft between myself and Tyler.
And I'm going to win.
Tyler's
obviously.
Losing right now.
All right. Okay. Paul in the left side of the screen going up basically just blocks volumes with jibs on it. And this one, again, like the blue women's 2 beside it, is just straight up pulling. Again, just squeezing little jibs on the volumes, making really, really big moves. And then Lestine, you can see there, trying to start women's number 1.
Yeah, so men's number 2, I wanna talk about this really quickly because after you do that cross, you have a very, very big pull with your left hand. Your left hand has to travel something like 6.5 feet in order to catch that first jib on the 3rd block's volume. It's further than it looks for sure, and the holds are not good.
No, like again, they are footholds that have been screwed to the corners of the volumes.
Has Rahul taken a second attempt?
I don't think so, no.
Good.
And we've got 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah.
I do want to see his next one.
Yeah, I'm excited for his second attempt because I think
close.
it's going to look really good. I think, I think he was onto something with that toe hook beta.
Do you think talking about men's number 1, there's those 2 jibs we spoke about on the big long volume. Do you think there's any beta to getting your hands crossed so that your left hand is on the rightmost jib? Because it is the most in-cut jib as well. It gives you the most purchase for making that big reach.
I wonder
out to
about
the right.
that, actually, yeah. Okay, Rahul is coming up to zone now.
And this is Paul on the orange and Lestine on the yellowy green. So this is the move Dustin was talking about, the 6-foot hand.
Just off.
Yeah, I think he's throwing to one of those atomic simple crimps, so it's really just a half pad.
But I think he just missed it a little bit, right? Like I think, when you throw and you bumble it a little bit?
Sure.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, so this move right here, watch Paul's left hand, how far it has to travel. He's going to bump his right hand here, and then the left hand cranks like 5 or 6 feet all the way up, and then has to hit that half.
Oh, he did hit it.
So, yeah, that's a tough one, man. There's definitely some boys that'll make that look easy later on.
Oh, yeah. Lucas Uchida is going to walk that, and we're both going to be like, oh, it's V2, right?
Yeah, no, it should. Some of these will start to go pretty easy. Yeah, we're doing 20 climbers in semifinals in each category, and of course it's reverse rank order. So the first climbers out had the poorest performance after qualifiers, and when we get towards the end, those are the climbers that scored the highest in qualies. So in general, we'd expect more tops as we get towards the end. So don't be too discouraged if you feel like these climbs look too hard. I'm sure the route setters are still sweating, but we all understand that we expect more tops later in the round. And with only 10 seconds left, that should be the final attempt for Listine. And I noticed the root setters made the decision of moving the bonus on women's number 1. Oh, here's that Paul play again. This may have been a different attempt, I'm not sure. But yeah, going to see if he actually sticks this thing. I like the heel. I don't know if I would have picked that. Okay.
I don't like the heel.
The toe, yeah, okay. The toe is a good idea, but it looks like he just didn't have the power. On the screen, David Gilbert and Marina Suvrova getting ready to start number 2. And our new athletes out on the wall are Isabel Gibbs and Robin McMillan. Both of them traveling pretty far. Isabel Gibbs climbs out of Planet Rock in Michigan, and Robin McMillan is a root setter out of Edmonton, Alberta.
Works for Rock Jungle, and also both of these are your picks.
They are, yeah, man. So we're obviously going to see some flashes right now from Isabel and Robin.
I love it.
Hey, man, don't knock it. I know what I'm doing.
So on women's number 2, Marina, this is actually like very much a boulder that's in her skill set and in her style. She climbs out of Alt Rock in Barrie, which is a gym that lends itself more to like holds and pulling, which I personally enjoy.
Sure.
But I think that we should see some success from her with like further down the round, where it just becomes about like how hard can you crimp, how hard can you pull. Right.
And here's David Gilbert going up men's number 2. Now, David's probably one of the tallest, if not the tallest guy in this round. His reach is insane. So this move here, he should have a bit of a natural advantage on. And I think now that he understands what he's dealing with, he'll probably try and be a bit more patient with that move.
Yeah, it looks like he's rushing just a little bit, trying to get like the boulder done as fast as possible. Trying to like
his right foot was still all the way out there. He can probably readjust that.
Yeah, it surprised me when you said he was an A boy, because that's got to be the tallest.
Pretty sure he's junior.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, that's still he's the tallest dude I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's a big guy, man.
Like other than like Gavin Johnson.
Sure. Well, I was talking to Mitchell Haight as well, who's also a tall guy,
he's a giant as well.
Sounds like his total reach is like 6'5". So, yeah, there's some...
For those of us with negative ape indexes,
yeah, me
that's
too,
unfair.
Man. High fives for negative ape indexes. All right, so Isabel Gibbs here.
Speaking of negative ape indexes, Robin McMillan, probably one of the shortest dudes.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, or at least a normal height. You put him beside David Gilbert, everybody looks short. Okay, so this move here, it's interesting that she's trying to get her left foot
I feel like that match isn't the way, though.
So those mammoth crimps... If you have that strength and can deal with crimping with just a couple fingers per hand, maybe it's possible, but you're going to have to make a really big crank, and that's a 45-degree wall, so you really have to be digging in your toes. I think like the beta is certainly to do a dyno to the large hold. If somebody can break it, I'd be. I love getting to see the root setters sweat from stuff like that, man. That'd be super fun.
As a root setter, I don't like that.
Well, we have different experiences, so I'm just a spectator, man. Okay, so David Gilbert again, I'm guessing this was his second attempt. Goes for the heel instead. And let's see if he tries to transition. No, he still keeps his right feet out, so I feel like his body positioning is still a bit too low and a bit too far to the right to make that move easy. And Marina's... I got to put my mic in the right spot. Yeah. Marina just like... She was just hanging off that crimp, so she can clearly.
Well, she's got that crimp strength. One of the things that again is interesting is that
that's actually really close.
Yeah, she's like, I feel like she can stick this move.
Now, so the mammoth rub stuff is fairly new to me. I still haven't climbed on it yet. They are really large radius jugs for the most part, so that blocker probably means that what you're dealing with is like a couple pads of really sloping edge. So. If she was able to reach up higher into the jug section, the side pull, that might be easier, obviously. Oh, we got a clock on the screen.
That's fancy. Look at us.
Now we're talking.
Oh, I don't like that wrap at all, David.
David trying some. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
So there it is. That's what I want. Come on now, David.
No, I don't. I don't think that's the answer.
I think the left foot could have stayed lower. I'm not sure. We'll see. I'm really curious to see what the successful beta is, but I think the left foot down low on the head and maybe the right foot pushing off the volume. I think just realigning your body a little more towards
I think
the
it's
left.
just left foot on and throw. But
I think if you have too much lateral momentum going up to that atomic crimp, like I think that's just going to make it too hard on you.
yeah, except Lucas Uchida is going to stick that and make it look easy. So
Well-
is Zach. Zach is going to just like rip those two holds. Like, are the root setters ready for technicals? Because Zach will come out and
Just take stuff off the wall. All right, so we are having changeover right now. And our next athletes out are Aspen Hendry and Dylan Bokenfor. If I remember right, Aspen Hendry is from out in the Montreal area, and Dylan Bokenfor is from Alberta as well. And Edmonton, I think he climbs out of Rock Jungle for the most part. And Aspen climbing out of Crux, if I remember that right, or the Crux. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But yeah, just in the Laval area. And here you
okay,
have,
we have men's and women's number 3.
yeah, so
here.
Paul and Kaylee. Tell us about this men's number 3 that
So-
Paul's on.
Paul is making this look. Oh, okay.
He made the start look good. The
Yeah,
setters were
no,
saying-
I was ready to say, like, this boulder looks really easy, but this is supposed to be one of the hardest boulders in the round. When we were talking to Caleb, it was this one and men's number 2 that are kind of, like, on a similar point, but men's number 3 has a little bit more trickery to it.
And Aspen doing like a full span.
Yeah. Well, she is a tall girl.
Unfortunately, there's not really much to push off of with the right foot on that volume because it is so glossy. You don't feel like you can use it
Okay,
for
but
friction.
that was actually a really good attempt. Like, I think that she learned, like, she got a bunch of information from that attempt, but that's the first time that I've seen, like, any of the women competitors, like, try and go for...
Sure, yeah. So this move for Paul, like this one, you're going into a blocked crimp, and this was the move. If you felt like you could do it, then you'd be all set.
Oh.
Damn, that looked like he was on it. So he's throwing to a low rider, but I don't think it's blocked. So it is a really good hold.
I feel like it is blocked.
The finish hold is blocked?
I thought it was blocked.
Oh, I didn't see that. We should take a look later and see if the cameras don't show it. We'll just walk over because it's right nearby. But I thought it was left open. I know. So that crimp there is blocked, but I don't think the finish is.
I thought the finish on this hole...
I think it's just because it's such a large edge and only part of it is good, and because it's a blind throw that I felt.
Yeah,
it was okay.
you do have to throw around that lip.
I feel like if you move 5 feet, you'll be able to
I'm just
see
going to
it.
go look really quick.
All right, sounds good. And this is Lestine Passion there, about to try women's number 2. So again, a really high start, and then the move is supposed to be a dyno, but it seems like the girls are really trying some different moves to get up there. I think they would rather not do a full commitment dyno if they can figure out a way to use those hands as feet. Then they'd rather do that. So we'll see.
Yeah, so I'm
anyone's
crazy
successful.
and it's not blocked.
It's the finish isn't blocked. Okay, cool, sounds good.
It is the one of the, like, it's the worst of the set.
Okay, sounds good. And then women's number. Sorry. No, we'll talk about Paul while he's on this thing. Yeah, he is making that bottom part look really good.
But he's so strong at just, like, grabbing holds. Like, he has a lot of outdoor goals and less comp goals.
I like that left toe hook as well. I didn't notice that in the first attempt, keeping the left toe.
Yeah, that's sneaky, right? I think that's
interesting.
kind of like the nuances and trickery that Caleb was talking about when he was walking us through the round.
Sure.
Is like,
So here we have Dylan Bokenfor up on men's number 1, trying to catch the sneaky toe hook.
the scream that you heard just a second ago was Rahul. I feel like he is one of the climbers that gets easily frustrated.
Sure. Well, he at least makes noise.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, Aspen was getting close on that move as well, and
I think her beta is really good. I think, like, she's close to something. You'll notice that Lestine had to jump to establish the start, and that was one of the things that Nathan discussed with us, was that he wanted women's number 2 to be sort of a jump start for the shorter girls, but acknowledging that the taller girls would be able to just establish
Sure.
off of the start.
sure, yeah.
Okay, so Paul's going to give this his last go.
The way he's making it climb, if he misses it, I feel like he could fit in another one, but he should be able to nail this now. He knows where the bolt hole is. There it is.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And that's our first top of semifinals, going
That's
up
dope.
Paul Begzinski climbing out of up the block in Mississauga. And Aspen Hendry looking so close to holding that
I feel like
move.
I feel like that's she's so close. Like if she has like one more go on it, she sticks it. So you'll notice like the pump. Paul was just like setting himself up and trying to aim for the bolt hole. Mm-hmm. I think like his first 3 goes, he missed the bolt hole a little bit, and that like because you're coming around that lip of that of the bouldering wall and like trying to like re-angle yourself past that slab. Yeah, I think it's really important to like just check.
Sure, the corner of that wall, because the angle that you're climbing at, it's turned and it's tilted, like it can be disorienting. You kind of lose track of where center is. So no, that's totally fair. Our next climbers out from Toronto on the women's side is Alina Avramova, and from the men's side from Milton, Ontario,
I'm never going to be able to say that last name.
Tom Wojtkowiak. Nailed it.
Wow.
We've known each other for a while. It's okay.
I'm impressed.
Just pronounce the W's like V's and everything's fine.
So Tom has a list of like a lot of strong outdoor descents. He's climbed, probably in the Glen, he's climbed almost every V10, I would say.
Sure, yeah. I don't keep track of outdoor sends because I'm like 100% gym rat. But I mean, Tom was always one of the strong guys here at Climbers Rock. When Aspire Climbing opened up in Milton, he took over the coaching and some of the route setting there as well. So no, really talented climber. And I mean, for
He's
us,
the head route setter.
You know, we work at gyms. We know how hard it is to maintain a high level of strength while working in the gym. And him and his coworker, Anthony Richard, who we'll see later, have both managed to do it. So that's really impressive.
He also had a very serious injury last year. While in Squamish, he blew out his ACL or MCL. One of those.
I have no idea.
One of the CLs.
If it happens outside, I don't pay attention. That's my line. Okay, and right there, Isabel Gibbs is the first woman to get the bonus hold.
Zone.
And I think after zone, I'm sorry. We live in it's a brave new world. So Isabel Gibbs getting the zone on women's number 2, and the rest of the climb again is jugs, although the angles are wild. And
there's a lot of blockers on this.
Yes.
When I was talking to Nathan about it, like you can see that the zone hold is blocked, the next hold is blocked to create a difficult match.
And then from there, I think it is straight up to the finish.
Yeah.
Right? That is the second last hold we were seeing. Yeah. So right here, again, this is the first person to get to this zone where she is right now. And as you can see, just under that next hold, there's a bit of a blocker on the upper side. So you're just grabbing the lower bit of that dual text hold. And again, just with this body positioning, it makes that reach hard because your body's on the wrong side of the jug. You're really going to have to possibly popping a left foot up, trying to get some pressure off the volume of the wall. And we've got Alina here, again, with that awkward start on women's number 1.
The more I'm watching this boulder, the more I like the awkward start. I didn't like it at the start. Like at the start of this round, I was not convinced. But
is it more awkward about establishing the start or moving out of it?
I think it's more awkward moving out of it. I like it. Before I didn't, just because I think, Marina is like up on this.
Oh, so Marina Suvrova gets through the bottom half and then just going again. Those little damage control flat
those are super
rails.
Bad. Okay, so I was looking at those and I thought they were the good ones, and then Nathan informed me that they weren't the good ones.
Sure. Now the thing about this move is you have a really excellent foothold, so it looked like Marina wasn't willing to pull past her lock off.
It's a shouldery move, right? So like if you don't have that shoulder power to like really push down and actuate that shoulder into a lock off, then it's going to be a hard move for you.
And yeah, David Gilbert here, seeing if he can do what Paul Beksinski did in the last round.
I love that toe hook.
It's also a surprisingly hard last move. I thought it would be easier to reef off that crimp, but apparently it's causing some trouble. Oh, a different angle. I like this. And so this kind of shows this shows the angle a little bit better. You see how really steep this wall is. It is 45 degrees overhung. And that toe hook is actually excellent.
I love that. I love this boulder. I think it's really interesting. And Caleb was right. There's a little bit of nuance to it. There's some trickery in it. I think it's probably harder than men's number 2.
And so if you're just joining us, this is the semifinal round of BlocBuster 2019 presented by Climbers Rock here in Burlington. If you guys are looking for the scores, those will be found at blockbuster.ca. I think they're being entered when the climbers finish their rounds. And
Right,
because there's so many climbers on the wall, we're going to have a really hard time keeping track of attempts. And, of course, Dustin and I, we only see what you guys see. We're in a different part of the gym.
We're facing away from the wall.
We're not even going to try in semis to keep track of the results because there's only so much you can show on the screen. And, again, Isabel getting close, David getting close, both just missing it, and they're going to have to give up, unfortunately, because that time is running out. But it looks like Aline is still hoping to get the zone. And again, I'm kind of surprised the jib on that innie on women's number 1 isn't helping as much as I thought it would help a little bit more. I thought it would make it much easier.
It's absolutely the worst tiptoe of the set. And
so it's not particularly in.
Oh, it's not. It's like this sloping dime.
Okay,
it's really bad.
That sounds terrible.
It's not good at all.
All right, our next climber's out. For the women is Sydney Park. And she'll be right there on the screen on the green holds.
And for the men,
Mr. Sean Hunter.
Another one of your picks.
Yes, because that's how fate works. And he's pulling the full Prince hair
I'd like to
today.
point out to everybody that all of Tyler's picks are coming out early. Just throwing it out there.
Well, that means it's going to be even more impressive when they all make finals. So keep yourself together there, bud. Awfully early in the game to be this cocky.
Who said anything about being cocky? I'm just pointing out information.
So Sean, I know Sean has been really sick through December, but he's managed to get back on the wall a few times since then. I'm curious to see how he's going to climb today because he obviously did well enough to make it to semis.
Paul.
Okay, well, there you go. Paul just cruised that. Now, okay, so men's number 4, the setters did say that was going to be the easiest problem of the round.
Okay, but like two tops is still very good for a semifinal round. Like as a route setter, you're looking for the semifinal round to be the hardest round because, well, in a normal comp you would want to sort everything out before finals, but in this finals format,
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, and that is obviously the same goal here. Of course, the finals format is an elimination format, which means that we really want to get the very best climbers in.
Okay, so I want to watch this. Sorry to interrupt you, Tyler.
No problem.
But, so these new dimension volumes are interesting, and I didn't know. Like, I really enjoy this wrap, first of all, because I think that that's super intelligent by Paul
Were you going to say by Paul's standards?
Yeah, by Paul's standards.
That's what Dustin thinks of you, Paul.
Yeah.
Managed to
You
figure
have
out
your own standards. No. I think that decision-making process by a climber is really important, and I wonder if we'll see that from the rest of the round, or the rest of the round will use it just as a straight-up edge.
Yeah, the problem definitely looks forgiving. Like those volumes are all 90-degree angles. Like there's a lot of places to grab them, so I think we should see a lot of tops on those. That's Dylan Bokenfour on the left and Aspen Hendry on the right. Raul Sapra starting men's number 3 there. Lestine Passion just off the screen on the right side.
I feel like Raul isn't on his game today. Like I'm not seeing the same intensity that I would. Oh, who's that on women's number 1?
Women's number 1 is Sydney Park.
Look at her go.
I was really curious if this move would go because, again, like the foot. Oh, but actually that heel hook makes it look very doable. Although it is a really long distance. So
yeah, so all those rectangles are actually really good. They're kind of they have like a lot of meat hook and wrap potential. Sean now starting. Okay. So Sydney Park is going to go up again. Again, as I was saying, all of these rectangles are very positive. They have like a good wrapping surface. The 3 in the row that she has her right hand on right now aren't good. They're part of the smaller of the sets, but like that heel and toe combination that she's got going on is keeping her on the wall, and she just comes off.
Oh, that was a replay. And
that was a replay.
Now she's back on to give it another try, but the start just kind of knocked
our video service is so
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
So fancy that I can't even tell.
All right, so that's 1 minute left for these climbers. On your screen, Sydney Park on the left, looking to match the high point at least, but getting a bit flummoxed by the start. And Aspen giving some final thoughts. Raul looking very frustrated.
This goes to, again, my point. I think Raul is a little off his game today. Like, we're not seeing the same Raul and same intensity that we usually see from him. He's had good results this season, hasn't he? Yeah.
It's in general, I would say it's usually a mixed bag for Raul. Yeah, he has obviously some really good days when he can win a provincial championships, and then other days like today where he he wasn't feeling good about himself at the
Sean
qualifiers.
Hunter getting high point.
I want to see 2 tops on this. So we're
Sean
expecting
Hunter, do this boulder.
And again, this finishes a blocked crimp, and it's a very unstable position, so you got to hit it on the first try. And it looks like Sean
did top that boulder.
Sean got the top there, so nice work from Sean. And yeah, Sydney just missed it there.
Okay, who do we got now?
So the next climber... And we'll get a replay of Sean in just a minute finishing that problem. But the next climbers out are Justine McCarney from Oakville, currently climbing out of Kingston.
And one of our foreign nationals, Dylan Barks.
Dylan Barks. He's been kind of a perennial favorite here at BlocBuster, coming up from Michigan. And I feel like he ranked actually fairly low coming out of qualies. This is the top.
Yeah. So you'll notice like Sean keeping that incredible tension the whole time through those like bottom moves with his with that toe hook, and then a little hesitation for the top move. But I feel like it wasn't so much him questioning whether or not he could stick this hold, but more sussing out whether he went left hand or right hand.
And he made a good decision. Dylan in the same position. He goes
Dylan
right hand
flash
and tops it right now with a flash. What a great start for Dylan. Again, I thought he was underrated coming out of qualifiers. But that said. You needed 4 tops. And Isabel Gibbs. Crimping.
Making that bump. Yeah.
Excellent. And we'll see if you can just finish this up nice and clean. And
do we know what the finishing hold is?
Finishing hold is one of the damage control slopers.
Oh, so it's good. Yeah, okay.
Nice and positive because it's up on that horizontal surface.
And we got Tom actually trying this heel hook beta. I don't know if that's the answer.
And David Gilbert looking to top out on this no shadow finish, wrapping up his round on problem number 4 with a top. Nice job, David.
Have we seen women's number 4? Yeah.
So
you can see it over there. It's those pink kilter holds. Do you want to talk about it a little bit?
We'll talk about it when we go over there. For now, there's just so much going on the wall. Now that we have
4 climbers, 4 boulders.
Yeah, 8 climbers on the wall at a time. So there's going to be a lot to see. Robin McMillan in the center, Alina Avramova there on the blue women's 2. And this looks like this is a replay of David's finish. Yeah. So again, I think this problem is going to see a ton of tops. Just there's so much positive surface.
Well, Caleb did say it was the easiest boulder.
And I aside from the start maybe being kind of an unusual position where you just have to make a decision of how you want to try it in your first attempt, the rest of it is pretty much a walk. It looks like so. So it'll be probably a consolation top to a lot of guys. Might not be enough to make them happy if they've had a really bad round, but we'll see what happens. Robin McMillan setting up for an attempt on the left screen of men's number 3, and Tom Wojkowiak about to get on men's number 2 on the right.
Justine McCartney getting ready to start her semi-finals round with women's number 1. Now Tom's not going.
Oh no!
Yeah, Tom, he's figuring it out now. No, okay, Tom. Never mind. Commentator's curse.
Yeah,
got it going on.
He's gonna have to.
Yeah, now he's figured it out, right?
Yeah,
good.
Go.
Okay. Tom is fairly tall, so I feel like he should have an advantage on this boulder. But having said that, as I start that sentence, he comes off.
Mm-hmm. And Alina going for the match crimp, looking pretty close going to that moon. And yeah, so here, Tom, again, if you're looking at the sequence, you need to have the right hand on that middle volume there, and that'll allow you to crank up left-handed. So here he's just put himself in a position where he's not able to get back to that proper beta without burning a ton of energy going back to this
I wonder if he's considering matching that, though.
So left and right hands?
Yeah, where his right hand is right now, I wonder if he's considering matching that, because that might be the thought process.
Okay.
But it's definitely not the answer, but sometimes competitive climbers can make decisions like that where they They know that that's not the right decision and not the beta, but they're still trying it.
Sure. Yeah. No, I can get with that.
Also, sometimes they just get bamboozled by the root setters.
Absolutely. Robin getting the power scream out on the right side of the screen, trying to find himself a top in his last two problems with 30 seconds left. Actually getting pretty close. Got the zone.
Yeah, he's got some stuff on him. Yeah.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Yeah, Robin.
Yeah.
Come on. Just not enough. All that Edmonton jet lag, man.
He's been here for a week. He's not got jet lag anymore.
I'm just trying to help the guy out.
Okay, all right, fine. So those, talking about Robin's attempt, that zone hold, those are two element jibs.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was surprised to see those. Yeah,
especially They're
basically pancakes, so there isn't a lot of in cut.
There's not. I'm not saying that they're like jugs or anything. Okay,
next climbers out from the United States on the men's side is Eric Libby from Chicago. And then for the women is one of your picks, Mateja Vukojevic.
I still can't say that last name.
You can just say her first name.
No. For the entirety of this stream, excuse me, I will tell you that I will not be saying last names because I'll just I already emceed one comp with her and I couldn't say the last name to save my life. So
that's embarrassing. And here's Raul Sapra, hopefully closing this round out on a top.
I wonder if the root setters feel that number 4 is too easy. This is just a question I have because because having been on both sides of comps a lot, I always wonder if the root setters are panicking.
Yeah, I don't think you want any boulders in semifinals that are flashable by the bottom 5 semifinalists. I think that's a bit of a warning sign, so it might not be a relevant boulder. That said, maybe one of the later guys just chuffs it, and that attempt is what makes the difference going to finals. Who knows, man? This is Dylan Bokenfour working up towards the finish of men's number 3. And you can see Sean Hunter, again, backwards beta on men's number 2.
See, this is why, so Sean's going to match this,
No, I don't like that. Nope. Thumbs down. I don't agree with
straight
this
away to
because in his case, he wasn't trying to match the crimps. He was trying to get the meat wrap.
But I think
on a blind, it's 45-degree wall on a there's some friction on that, but it's really not that good.
I really think that with that heel, you can probably match those two jibs and get out of that situation.
Let's take our first look at women's number 4.
Okay,
finally.
So this boulder was one of the more interesting boulders that I was looking at when Nathan walked me through the female round. Is there's a tricky sequence with those 3 kilter.
The Jimmy Sandstone slopers there in the center.
So she has the correct beta by going left hand, but you can go right hand. It's kind of one of those boulders that allows the climber to kind of screw themselves.
Sure.
And sometimes we do that. As root setters, it's interesting to sometimes let the climber hang themselves almost. You saw it yesterday in the qualifying round. The qualifying round was fairly easy for the boys, and you saw a lot of mistakes. Now, Mateja is facing the wrong way.
Well, it's only wrong if it doesn't go.
I'm not a believer that it does.
Only one person has really gotten significantly beyond this.
I'm just saying this is not she has to know that that's not the right way. Mateja is a young climber. She doesn't have a lot of experience, but she has enough experience to know that that's not.
Hey, man, try what you got to try. There hasn't been a lot of success out of that move, so somebody's got to find a way to do it.
It's true. I could be.
And that's wrong. Sydney just hanging the fingers. That's actually really nice from her. And Dylan getting close to the top of men's number 3.
Oh, what happened?
So I'm curious what happened to Sydney here.
Is that Dylan Burks? Yeah.
No, that was Dylan Bokenfour.
Oh,
we got 2 Dylans.
Sorry. I was ready to call out Tyler and say that he doesn't know his competitors, but
I will definitely mix some people up.
Okay, that's fine.
But I'll do my best. And Mateja actually, unless this is a replay.
This isn't a replay.
No, I think it is. Yeah, this is
a replay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so lost.
Okay, so Sydney just trying to, again, we've had this same situation earlier with Isabel Gibbs, trying to figure out how you position yourself to get purchase on that next jug on women's number 2.
Okay, Mateja.
Anyway, Eric Libby's still working away on men's number 1. That's the black.
Sean's still trying men's number 2. I'm surprised by that because I feel like this is kind of one of his jams. Like he is good at pulling on holds and crushing.
I think now, in my opinion, because originally the root setters thought that men's number 3 did you say men's number 3? They kind of thought maybe one of the hardest boulders.
So the root setters thought that men's number 2 and men's number 3 were the same difficulty, but men's number 3 had a little bit more trickiness to it.
Okay, so I think like so far, just seeing the lower end of the field having a lot of success on it, I think it's clear at this point that men's number 2 is the hardest problem by far, with no top so far. Even though it's simple, like it's you should for them like.
You say that, but like Sean's trying to match
there is
this.
that cross, but aside from that, like it's pretty straightforward. It's crimps and stuff. There aren't it's not large volumes that you're trying to figure out how to manipulate. It's pretty obvious what the path is. It's just extremely steep and very small holds with very little purchase. And yeah, Dylan Bokenfour getting close, but not close enough. And we've got our next set of climbers out, and we got some very young climbers on the very first problem. On the left side, on men's number 1 is Ben Agro, who last year placed 5th. He made his first BlocBuster finals last season. He's in the junior category. And on the right side is Taylor Galloway, who I'm going to have to double check if she's a C or B category, but she is.
Isn't she C?
She's not old enough to be an open yet, but we extended the invitation just because she shows so much talent, and of course she made it into
okay,
semifinals.
So this is probably going to be our first top for men's. Men's number 2. Dylan Barks looks very, very cash. Oh, and as I say that, commentator curse.
And so, yeah, center of your screen there, Taylor Galloway, she is a C girl, but she made it into semifinals and basically in the center of the pack, so around 10th place.
So, yeah, Dylan looked super comfortable on this, on those holds until that.
He found it looked like a great rest position.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Isabel Gibbs.
Isabel Gibbs is using like every bit of her toes and tension to stay on these holds. It's just when I was talking to Nathan about it, it's all about this tension between those really bad slopers and keeping your body underneath them with the toe hooks.
Sure, those slopers are mounted again on a 45-degree angle, so everything is
Dylan Barks.
There it is, man.
Oh my gosh! Can we have a replay of that?
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a replay maybe from the other side, seeing what's up. Again, both of the holds on that top, on that second last volume, or I guess it's the last volume before finish.
So Tom is
really
up on men's number 3 now. Again, these holds are not nearly as good as they look or appear to be, and this move especially is like around. You come up and around a lip, so you'll see that like you saw Tom just come off almost the reverse of the wall, kind of like peeling away from the wall because it is very steep and those holds are very bad.
And again, like you said, a completely blind throw because of the angles.
Yeah.
So again, on this problem, Isabel Gibbs.
Okay, so
the slopers only work if you are if you're using them with a hook or finding somewhere to oppose those surfaces.
Oh wow!
Oh, that was a lot of grip. Maybe if she got her toe on that hold, that would be enough to move her out of it. But yeah, no, very tough.
So Robin did fall.
Yeah, this is, I think, his second
I think this is his third. I could be wrong, though.
I want to say second just because of the time, but you might be right, yeah. So, yeah, great example here, again, of trying to work out how you're going to oppose those big slopers in the center. She's got her right foot toe hooked, and now she's going to switch to the left heel.
Yeah, you can see, like, she's milking that, like those toe hooks and heel hooks for everything. And then she's going to try and just quickly stab her foot out.
I'm curious if she's possible to get the right toe hooked where it is right now and just slowly, like step by step, walk across, because she just didn't have the accuracy in that movement.
That's what Nathan was talking about. You match the toe hooks. Okay, Tom just came off.
And on the right screen, you see, here we go. So Ben Agro on the left side.
And on the right side, Dylan Barks on men's number 2.
Close from Robin.
There's 1 minute left. Isabel Gibbs just sent women's number 4.
Nice job. We'll get a replay of that in just a second.
Dylan Burks is giving it on men's number 2. He's up on the last volume. This is the high point, and just falls off the finish.
And yeah, Justine falling on that move, which you've seen those falls before, trying to get out of the zone on women's number 2. And a lot of noise. It looks like Robin just missed getting up to the finish there on men's number 4, unfortunately.
Oh, Dylan's actually giving this
10 seconds. Yeah, no, just not enough. Not quite enough. 7 seconds left.
I'm just making a prediction right now that I think that you need 4 boulders to go to finals. Like 4 sends. You might sneak in with 3.
Well, we'll start to see results coming in. If they aren't already, we're going to see those up pretty soon. I'm going to see what I got on my end.
So right now on women's number 1, we have May. I'm not going to try and say that.
Yep, May Nagasako from Toronto.
Yep. And
Danny Latulip from Montreal, repping Block Shop.
Yeah. And here's the replay of Isabel Gibbs.
So she just decided to try it again and managed to make it accurate.
Yeah,
so that's not bad.
Yeah, so this is the send, and I think what the replay isn't showing because of the angle is how steep this wall is and how much she had to come out from underneath that roof, to generate for the finish hold.
Yeah, and just putting all that weight on the right foot is what
it's really
makes it.
far. It's not close at all.
All right, so who do we got here on men's number 2 right now? Should be Eric Libby, just came off. And we see Sydney Park on women's number 3.
And I would be surprised if May doesn't do this because she's really good at this style of, this is sort of a gitchy boulder almost. Like it's a very new age boulder that involves a lot of learned movement and just kind of like a coordination style jump. So it would surprise me if May doesn't get this.
And Dylan Bokenfour there trying to finish up his round with a top on men's number 4. And looks like he should be okay with that. It's a pretty standard top there at this point. Nice work from him. And Sean getting close on men's number 3. It looks like he gets the top.
Sean did top men's number 3.
Nice job from Sean. With the time on the clock, I'm going to assume that's a flash. That actually might be the first flash of that problem, I think, because so many people have blown.
Paul didn't flash it, actually. Yeah, you're right.
And yeah, you can see Danny on the left in the very distinctive Block Shop stripes. It's growing on me, man.
I love those jerseys. I think, Fred Charon, shout out, man. You're doing it right.
We have May on the left, Eric in the center, Matea on the blue, and Sydney making her way up the volumes on the right side. Sydney getting really close. And again, I'm not sure if the lock-off by itself is enough on this women's number 3. I do feel like you need some momentum. And she gave it a good shot.
I wonder what it looks like to skip the bumping hold. Like, the hold she's going for right now, I wonder if you just skip it entirely.
You want to go directly over the lip?
Yeah. I wonder about that.
So the next hold is a sharp.
I'm saying that if I set this comp, one of the conversations that I would have in forerunning would be getting rid of that bump hold. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. And I think this is a replay of.
This is a replay.
Dylan Bokenfour's top.
Although, I haven't been right so far, so I could be wrong. This
I think it is. We just got to watch for the little spinny do BlocBuster logo, and then we'll know what's going. Boom. See, now we're back live, and
May is up on this boulder. I think she has a chance to send. I think this could be the first send of women's number 1. See, she's adjusting into that Gaston position. Oh, wow, May. Whoa.
And we saw earlier Sydney using that hold above the rectangle as a heel hook, so maybe if she manages to get back on the wall again, almost just a minute left.
Okay, so we just saw Isabel, right? No?
On 4?
3.
Women's 3 is Sydney right now.
Sydney, sorry. So we just saw a very common beta from her. and from Climbers Rock Climbers is the trying to use the slab as a handhold before you
Yes,
go.
man. Yo, that's been legit beta in finals before. And so this is the beta that May used in her last attempt to get across. This is a replay of her previous attempt where she managed to touch the finish but didn't make it. So she went for like that full splay, and I guess that moved her center of gravity over enough that the jump wasn't too bad. So that's actually really nice beta from May. And with only 24 seconds left, we're going to see what's going back on the wall.
This is not live. This is a...
Yeah, this is still a replay.
Yep.
And so it looks like just Danny is trying to give one last shot with 9 seconds left.
I think Matea is having a bad day. She just gave the camera like a little bit of that head shake, like frustration. And when I talked to her this morning, she wasn't happy about her qualifying round, and I think that's starting to carry over.
Well, she had 2 exceptionally hard problems at the start. Like this women's round is actually.
Oh, I love it. I love the like out of the
thought.
Gate, you just get beat down.
Yeah, this is tough stuff.
But again, this is the kind of the theme of both of these rounds has been for the men. So we have scores right now. Paul is in. Oh, he has 2 tops. Yeah, that's why he's in first. Okay. But the interesting part of these results is you can see in the qualifying round, all of the boys had 4 tops.
Yeah, it was a clean sweep from everybody. Lots of tops for the women. Score is looking roughly the same as the men in semifinals. With my pick, Isabel Gibbs.
She's only got 2 tops. Don't even.
Well, I am surly, but I'm saying it's going to hold up, man. You're seeing the round is hard. Like, it's a hard round.
Round is
so
hard,
far.
yeah.
And that looks
Dylan
like,
Barks making my pick.
Yeah. No,
making number 3 look easy. I think he's going to finish.
Yeah, thank you. We'll get a replay of that in a second. We've got Tom and Alina on men's and women's number 4 right now.
Tom should make quick.
I think at this point this should be an easy top for pretty much everybody on men's number 4. But here's Dylan with his.
Robin McMillan didn't do number 4.
Yes, but I think that's the only one so far.
True. Dylan Barks makes this boulder look easy because it's a very Americanized boulder. There's like pulling and holds and stuff that he's good at. So
Sure. And I think he's just got the confidence on this crimp where he's able to just spend a little more airtime and feel good about it.
He will, like, if he does boulder number 4, then he'll finish with 3 tops, which I think I already said that 4 tops is what you need, but maybe 3 is enough.
So let's talk about who's brand new on the wall. For the women, our new climber is Audrey Larochelle from Montreal, and you can see her brushing down the green problem right now. And for the men is Jacob Elliott out of the Waterloo area in the blue T-shirt brushing down the black holds. So
cool.
This is the second attempt, I believe, for both of them at this point. And
judging by the timing, it would be second attempt.
And Alina giving her shot here, but not quite committing enough to finding those toe hooks.
I'm surprised that Tom hasn't sent number 4.
I am a little bit too. Yeah, man.
Maybe 4 is harder than we think, and we're just like 2 scrubs on chairs being like, it's the easy boulder.
We are definitely 2 scrubs in chairs. There's Justine on the left trying to work her way through women's number 3. And you can see Audrey. Oh, it looked like she actually tried to go for the reach with the left hand and keep the right toe on the volume. That screw on the volume is not very good and very small, so I think that's super. I mean, like the other beta has been extremely hard as well, obviously, but the toe hook stuff looks pretty tough. And
Ben
Agro getting close on
Tom on number 4.
Nice finish from Tom. And
I think the finishing hold on men's number 4 is worse than we think it is because all of the guys have been really tentative when they've been matching it. So I think
well, it is terrible. And again, I haven't been watching that move.
No, but I think it's also very greasy.
Definitely. That old has been here at the gym longer than I have spent time at this gym. It is a gross hold. There's no texture left on it. It's been used a lot for probably a decade now. So I think if you try and go dynamic to it, if you just go for a big reach and you're not aiming and letting yourself put all your weight in the lock-off, you are going to get wrecked. But these guys are cranking up, giving.
But you can see even on Tom's face, like that's
sure. Yeah,
he's given it.
Yeah, man, you're having to really try and lock your fingers down on that. Jake on the left in the blue. Audrey just took a fall in the center, and Ben trying to get the zone there. And yeah, you're right. That's a really high zone. You're doing a lot of work to get.
Yeah, like on men's number 2, like the zone is far. Whoa.
And here's Alina going for the top with 26 seconds left on women's number 4. And we'll see if she can. The last hold is a really good hold. It's a nice big kind of juggy sloper, but just not enough momentum getting out there. And so she'll have to walk away without it, unfortunately. And Taylor Galloway. Oh, Evangelina trying to get that hook as well.
Yeah, like I think I don't think she's actually committing to the throw enough.
But I think a lot of the climbers have been trying to find ways to get away from doing a full-on dyno with both hands.
Yeah, that's
right?
fair. Matea should wait until her 1-minute warning, but she won't because...
Honestly, the bottom of this climb that Matea's on doesn't look that bad. May here, she's going for the Gaston, and this actually looks really good.
Really good. Oh, yeah, May, come on.
This next hold is a nice little Inca crimp. It's not enough to
It's like a pinch more.
Oh, is it? It's got a thumb catch on it?
It's got a thumb catch on it.
And now here's a classic CR curse, the finish being around a block.
Yeah,
corner.
May. Wow.
But she still hits it. Great top. That's the first top on women's number 2. Nice job. Nice bow to the camera. Okay, so it sounds like we may have had an audio loss earlier. Sorry about that, guys, but apparently we're back now. So
Tyler and I didn't even know.
Can you hear me now? Evangelina is up high on this thing. One hole to go for the finish, and
This is
maybe thinking a little bit too long.
I think that pause really really punished her a little bit.
Well, you can just tell that she just wasn't prepared to make a decision quite yet. But yeah, only 25 seconds left. Unfortunately, very unlikely that she's going to finish this climb. Matea giving it another go on this climb, which has been such a tease for the women. The first set of moves.
I don't know why she went for that wrap. I don't know if that's the answer. I'm not convinced that wrap is usable or functional at all.
With 10 seconds left, we're going to be, less than that now. We're going to move on to the next climbers.
Who's out next?
For the women, another young climber, brand new A category climber, Riley Galloway, is going to be on women's number 1, who just won Ontario Youth Provincials in her category. And just got a nice wet kiss from Sean Hunter, who
he's face full of hair, so it was.
And also out now for the men is Pierre Cusa, who we've seen in a Tour de Bloc finals, I believe, last year out of Grand River Rocks. But he's not somebody who commits too hard to the comp circuit. He's usually just out here for fun, having a good time. Mm-hmm. And excellent results coming out of qualifiers. We'll see what he can do in semis.
I think Ben should make, commentator curse. So I won't say anything anymore.
Don't predict anything. Just say what happens.
I'm not.
Yeah, Jacob Elliott working his way up on men's number 2 with the orange. And it doesn't look like he's trying to reposition before the throw. And, of course, that's a recipe for not getting too far on that one.
I feel like these holds are – Dylan Barks finishing up with 3 tops?
It should be 3 tops, yeah, 1, 3, 4 as well.
So I think he just I feel like he –
I'm wondering if he topped number 2 and we just didn't see it because we were in a replay.
No, he definitely didn't top
You don't think so? Okay.
Justine McCartney trying real hard on women's number 4. As you can see, that angle gives it a little bit more perspective of how far that finishing hold is, because it's not close.
Yeah. And you can see Ben on the center of your screen. Wow. That's actually a pretty big stretch. I'm surprised he kept that. That's really excellent. And now, of course, the big blind throw that has been flummoxing most of the climbers.
So you can see, I would risk it to bet that the route setters in forerunning fell off that move a bunch, just because there's so much chalk on the bottom of that hole and not so much chalk on the usable surface.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And you can see Riley Galloway in the white tank, pressing through the green, trying to see if she can actually.
Jacob Elliott is trying this whack beta that I'm.
He is.
Oh my gosh! And he's.
I don't think that gets you anywhere, man.
I don't think that.
No,
that's not the way.
No, you just gotta one hand reefing, boys. Come on now.
Well, isn't that what this comp is all about? Just like Burl?
Y'all know the recipe. Taylor Galloway here on women's number 3. So we have 2 Galloway siblings climbing right now. Audrey La Rochelle staring up women's number 2. And Pierre starting to move out of the start on men's number 1.
Come on, T, you got it.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking right now is we're basically in the final third of athletes, so we're now hitting the hardest hitters.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're not seeing a noticeable increase in the number of successful attempts.
Yeah, no,
right?
I think this round is really well set. I'm actually really excited about this because all our original thoughts of men's number 4 being the easiest boulder. It might be the easiest boulder, but it's throwing the competitors through a loop.
Yeah, Justine there just taking a fall off a number 4 and needing a little more toe hook to make that happen. I'm trying to be conscious of the fact of how close we are to women's number 4. I'm trying to not speak too loudly about the Beta. And Riley, wow, Riley's trying. So That's really okay. If that
We still
goes,
haven't
I'm
seen
super excited.
Ascend on women's number one.
Well, so women's number one, that's interesting that she was trying to get her high left foot and press into the rectangle because, as the setters were saying, the rectangles are apparently jugs on any surface,
Yes.
right? There's so much texture, and the ripple in the corners of them make them very, very usable.
Well, and that wrap is super.
Sure.
Like if you have flexible wrists, then Riley.
So anyway, all I was saying was that if she manages to press into that and then catch a corner, that could be doable.
So
Data.
right now, where she's brushing, that's where that dime, sloping dime is.
And then Ben here, again getting close, and again, such a hard move.
You can see how stretched out he is, too. Like, Ben is one of our shorter climbers in the men's round, and he's at full extension.
Oh, Riley's so close to catching that, but she's not going to have enough time to top it, I don't think. We'll see if she can get a zone, though, because that will mean a lot on this problem. Very little success on women's number one from any of the competitors. And we're now going to be moving on to our next climbers. For the women, we have Madison Fisher out, who for the last 2 seasons of BlocBuster has finished second place, so a consistent finalist, and has just been edged out from that first place finish. And for the men, our next climber is Tim Ing, who last year finished outside of the top 20. This year made it into semifinals. We'll see where he can go. He was ranked 6th coming out of qualifiers, so a good start so far. And that's Eric Libby on men's number 4. May Nagasako, Daniela Tulip, Mitchell. And then on the far side, you see our newest climbers. And Madison Fisher on her first attempt actually looking excellent, making that first move on the green climb in the center of the right screen. And this could be the kind of climbing we should expect from the next set of competitors, the ones that rank top coming out of qualifiers. And Eric looking like he'll lock down his round with a top. And Madison may be closing this thing out. And as we were watching Madison about to maybe do the first flash of women's number 1, we've got the chief setter for the men's round, Caleb Thomas.
How you doing?
Here in the booth. I'm doing all right, man. How have you guys been feeling watching all this climbing?
Good so far. I mean, the semi's kind of going as you wanted. The first boulder is pretty hard boulder, but the guys who are climbing it right are getting the tops. We haven't seen a top on men's 2 yet, which we kind of expected. I think that boulder's really there for the strongest couple of guys. Admittedly, the red is a little easier than we kind of expected, but at the same time, we're getting falls on it, so
sure.
It's kind of doing its job, actually. And if
a lot of attempts for the finish. I was
yeah, a lot
surprised
of
by
attempts
that.
for the last move, and I think it's a nice boulder. It's kind of tricky. And then even the last boulder is doing its job. It's actually working pretty good. Yeah.
Cool.
Overall,
Yeah.
we're pretty psyched.
Yeah. Now, you weren't setting for the women's, but it is also proving to be another hard round. We just saw Madison Fisher get the first flash of women's number 1, which has been an extremely hard problem. The start, it takes so many attempts.
That boulder is a savage boulder. Yeah, I didn't climb so much on the women's boulders. I did a little bit just in between, to warm up or whatever. They felt pretty hard, that's for sure. But, I mean, both teams had a plan that the qualif would be a pretty easy qualif, so that everyone who came and paid the money for the comp would have a good time and get up lots of boulders. And then, as you know, if you have a bit of an easy qualif, you need a hard semi to make sure that we're taking the best guys into finals, and girls.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we saw Matei getting close on women's number 4. Is this your first time setting on these walls?
Yeah, my first time setting a climber's rock. I did this comp last year.
I remember that, yeah.
And, I was psyched to come set. I mean, I've known the guys here for a little while. And then I was actually just working with Kilter and Dimension to get them some cool stuff for the event. And then it kind of came up that maybe I'd come help set, and I'm psyched to be here.
Yeah, for sure. So what was your experience dealing with these kind of angles, these kind of walls?
It's super different for me, yeah. The wall here is really different. For those of you at home that maybe can't fully see, everything here is very steep. The 45 is our slab at Climbers Rock. And then on top of that, the wall has this concrete texture, which just makes it very interesting for placing the large wooden volumes. Mm-hmm. You can, but you're not as free as you are on some other walls. So
Sure.
it makes some different challenges, and it kind of pushes the BlocBuster style a little bit.
Yeah. How do you, again, it's only your first time setting on these particular walls, but another unique feature is at the top of the walls you get this tapered angle back to a top out. So when you're placing your finishes, how are you thinking about using those angles?
Well, it's kind of cool because you don't actually have to cap hold. Like we sometimes cap the finish hold to make it tricky to get on the hold. But here the angle change almost provides that emotion because you can't really see the finish hold. You can't see the sweet spot. You're hucking blind.
Sure.
Even when I was forwarding the boulders, I was having a hard time sticking tops. And they told me that the key is to launch past the finish hold and slide down the wall until you grab the hold. And once I knew this beta, I could finish some boulders. So.
May could have probably used that advice right there, throwing for that finish on women's number 3.
She's climbing really strong, actually.
Yes,
she's a really talented little climber.
Yeah, good rounds so far. And Evangelina Briggs going into the jump start. Just 25 seconds left for these climbers. Danny in the center on the red. Tell me about, you were talking about how you thought the red might have been a more difficult climb. How is that climb different from your expectations in the way the climbers are approaching it?
Well, it's actually just there's this one little trick right here. You can see Danny's got his little left toe hook underneath.
Sure.
And it's we thought this was maybe a little obscure, and you really need it to make it to that hold before the finish, that little slotted hold.
Right.
Because the hold is very precise. And actually in my car last night I was like, man, if the guys don't figure out that little left toe hook, this boulder is going to be very hard for them, but the guys are pretty smart, and they've kind of found that method, and they seem to be doing it.
Cool. Yeah, you got a chance to see what the results are looking like so far. Dylan Barks leading with 3 tops and 4 zones, just beating out Sean Hunter in second with 1 attempt to zone. So that's a very competitive race so far, but again, no tops on men's number 2, which could be the key to unlocking your finals placement. And then when we take a look at the women's, we'll see what's going on in that field. Isabel Gibbs from the United States still leading the pack with only 2 tops. And of course, much of that likely to change as these high-ranked climbers come out. Of course, Madison Fisher getting the first flash on women's number 1. But we're back into the field, and the newest climbers on the walls right now from Chicago on women's number 1 is Estelle Park. And for the men from now representing, I guess, Kitchener-Waterloo, but original Toronto boy Jake Tiger. This women's prop number 3 here that we see Audrey climbing right now.
Audrey is going to do this boulder, I think, for sure.
So there are a lot of climbers I would have said could have done this so far because the finish holds are all very in cut, even though they are really thin, those damage control crimps.
Yep.
This lock-off move, having to move beyond the lock-off, and something about that foot seems to not be providing much confidence in the climbers.
It's just a slippery volume foot. I think that, it's a new volume too, so it even... I don't know, it's got a bit of a feel to it because the texture is good, but the texture is also still kind of shedding just a little. So I think it's not so confidence inspiring. It doesn't feel like it's bomb proof. And I think what they have to do is just really push on that sloper to get the weight over that foot.
And then here, Taylor Galloway, one of our youngest climbers, of course, still just in Youth C, looking like she's actually climbing really smart and getting through this. This might be a top for her if she can make this big final reach. A lot of climbers not getting through that sloper sequence.
This boulder is actually so cool. Oh, that was sick.
That's a great top
top
from Taylor. What a nice way to finish her first BlocBuster finals.
Yeah, this boulder kind of just looks like holds, but when I climbed it, I actually thought this was the coolest women's boulder.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot more subtle and tricky and funny than it looks. It looks kind of simple, but when you're climbing it, it's really not. There's a lot to it. It's a really cool boulder.
It paired with that wall there, because you have that big cutout in the arch, it means you really don't have as many foot options as you normally would.
Yeah.
So Riley Galway here on women's number 2, May so far the only woman to top this climb, and this Gaston beta was really important for her. Everybody else tried reaching through with the left hand, but May made it go with the right hand and the smear. If you could describe the quality of that hold that Riley was just reaching to in there, how many pads, what's that feeling like with that blocker?
I actually didn't try that women's boulder in its current version. That hold is a pretty good hold, but it's pretty capped. And as I said, I didn't climb on it last night. They changed it pretty late, so I'm not actually sure how that one feels.
Sure. And so, can you talk a bit about the subtlety of this climb while we're seeing this replay of Taylor Galway?
So basically, this section here, you have to get that right foot up really high, right, like this, and it's a little bit obscure. And on top of that, the left pink Kilter Jimmy sloper is not very good, and you kind of think you're supposed to use it, but you're not. And then through this section, this hold is not as good as it looks, and you're just kind of working in this corner section, trying to make it work. But Yeah, it's a cool boulder.
Yeah, no, very
And
cool.
the finish hold feels in the abyss. Like, the finish hold feels like it's in Hamilton, man. It's like
There you go. Yeah, it is. It is a big toss. It's been
Yeah.
the move that has shut a couple climbers down.
BlocBuster style,
Yeah.
man. It's
No,
cool.
Absolutely. We are going to bring on the chief for the women's category now. I'm going to bring
Awesome.
Dustin back in. He's going to talk to him. So thanks a lot, Caleb.
Sweet. Yeah, thanks a lot.
And have a safe flight home. as
Yeah,
well,
later.
all right?
All right. So I'm here with the chief route setter of the women's round, Nathan Lewis. Hey, Nathan. How's it going, man?
Hey, man. All right.
All right. So I really want to, quickly, I just want to talk about the round. We just had Tyler and Caleb go through the men's round and a bunch of conversations about the boulders and the setting. And I think it's really important to get the setter's perspective from this. We'll jump into shots like this where we'll be talking about the climbers on the boulder. But what I really want to talk about is okay, so let's talk about this boulder right now.
That's a great segue. So this boulder came about as sort of the risky boulder for this round. The beginning sequence, as you've seen from everybody so far, there's probably 5 or 6 different ways. We wanted to give the girls an opportunity to problem solve, to show their flexibility, to show their skill, to show their ability to really just not be sure and go for it.
Okay, perfect.
And I think that we did that. I think so far they've had that opportunity. Once you get through that first sequence, then it's classic Climbers Rock. Get up top, grab onto some holds that you're not too comfortable on, and find that finishing position. So it was really nice to see Madison do that climb.
So to segue out of this, what does this comp mean? Because BlocBuster has been around for many years. I think I competed in one BlocBuster at some point, but you've been involved in them from the start, right?
Not from the entire start. I think since it became BlocBuster, we tagged it that comp. I've been involved since then. My progression in route setting over the career that I've worked at this gym, every single year I've set this comp since my first year setting. So the progression for me has been what I've learned about competing, what I've learned about open climbing, what I've learned about the climbers in this area. Watching all of this shot right here with 3 youth climbers, I've known these kids since they were 11 years old. That's the progression for me. It's insane to see a 6'2" Mitchell when I knew him as a 5 foot whatever, and it's really fun. So, but for the gym, this has been our marquee event. These concrete walls, everybody knows them. Everybody knows you're going to get some steep pulling. Everybody knows they're going to be flying around. This means a lot for Climbers Rock for sure.
That's excellent. Okay. So we just got a shot of Mitchell. I guess he fell off the finishing hold of men's number 3. And you're coaching him now, too.
Yes.
That was so definitive.
Well, so for most of the people that know me, I ran the youth program here for a number of years, and I took a bit of a hiatus from Climbers Rock to pursue some other professional goals. And now that I'm back, I'm in charge of the ambassador program here. So now we have 6 sponsored athletes. So Mitchell is one of those athletes, among a few others that you'll see in finals today. Ben Agro, Mitchell, Raul, Zach Richardson, Bronwyn Karnas, Leah Wachowski. Am I missing anybody? I don't think so.
They're your team. I hope you're not missing.
There's 6 of them. If I missed any.
Just to interrupt, Indiana Chapman is just about to finish. That is our second send of women's number 1.
Beautiful.
So the only other boulder that I want to talk about is women's number 4.
Mm-hmm.
All those big kilter slopers
Yeah.
underneath a huge overhang, as per, I think I just described almost every boulder from every BlocBuster ever. There's bad holds on an overhang.
Yeah.
But walk me through it. So one of the things that I've been talking about in this round is that the bonuses or the zone holds on the women's round are fairly close to the middle of the boulder, whereas the men's boulders, most of the zones are actually fairly far into.
Yeah, you got to get up there on the
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as the chief of the women's round, what was the thought process behind that?
the thought process, we kind of broke the boulders down into sections. We broke them down into two parts. We wanted to incentivize the zone in this round. Tops were going to be at a premium because tops, you needed to send a lot of boulders yesterday. You needed to get to the top of the climbs yesterday. So today we're getting them into the middle and then seeing what they're made of.
And that's Anthony Richards just sent men's number 1.
That thing's not seen a lot of tops either.
No, it hasn't. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so in that women's round, we wanted to see most of the girls work hard to get the zone and then really let the top climbers shine in getting to the top. So tops will be at a premium for this round. We were thinking maybe 2, I think, gets you into finals.
Okay,
cool. With all the zones.
Interesting.
The interesting thing about this round is, as you can see, Evangelina Briggs right there, we have a couple C climbers in semifinals.
Yes.
The other thing I love about this comp is we get to see what the youth climbers, the up-and-coming generation is made of. And in this women's round, women's comp as a whole, we had a lot of youth B, youth C climbers, and a few of them are actually here in semis. So, and they're killing it. So we wanted to give them a shot and show them what it's like to be an open climber. And as hopefully we'll see from this, the top 6 qualifiers, these girls that are in that, they've really established themselves on the world stage. So.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of interesting because there's no age category in this comp, right? Like
pretty much, yeah.
You can be a C category girl and be in first, I think, is what Tyler is showing me.
Taylor is in third right now as a C climber. So the youth girls are up there. Matea's a B climber. Yeah.
These results.
I know.
It's awesome. And you'll see the results on your screen right now. Thanks, Nathan, for sitting down and chatting with me about this. Yeah. Have a good one, dude. For sure. And best of luck in finals.
Yeah, thank you.
Are you sweating?
I've been sweating all weekend, man. I've been sweating all weekend.
Oh, that's the life of a route setter. As soon as the round starts, you're nervous. You feel all of the emotions, not just one of them.
Many emotions. Many emotions.
Thanks again, Nathan.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. We're going to get back to Tyler is going to join me again, I think. Yep.
Yeah, man, I'm back.
All right. So Jacob Elliott up on men's number 4. I think that is his only top. No, he has a top on men's number 3 as well.
Yeah, he topped something while I was talking to Caleb. I think, number 3, I think sounds right, and I just missed it.
Zach Richardson, who is a 3-time BlocBuster winner.
2 times so far.
2 times, sorry.
Yeah. So Zach Richardson out, as well as Bronwyn Karnas. Bronwyn was the champion last year and the year before, so she's going for the 3-peat. Zach won it in 2016 and 2017, lost it in 2018 to Lucas Uchida. He's trying to earn back that title. And I'm not sure if we missed Anthony Richard and Indiana Chapman coming out.
Yeah, so Anthony round. Topped, both of them topped their first boulders.
Sure.
Anthony did it on his second go, I believe. I was talking to Nathan, so there might
absolutely.
I might have missed an attempt. Or
super hard to keep track of this stuff. It's just how it goes, man, with 8 climbers. Yeah, good top from Jake. And Audrey finishing her round as well. Let's see if she can get a top out there. But yeah, Zach and Bronwyn, 2 former BlocBuster champions, looking pretty good so far, representing the home colors. And the only thing is this decision we spoke about on men's number 1, but Zach manages to make it work with the left hand. Nice job from him. And I'm curious to see the beta that Bronwyn uses for her feet.
So Indiana did something interesting where she had like a gun wrap on the middle rectangle.
Okay.
Audrey up high on women's number 4.
That's too bad. And I think Bronwyn did walk away with the top on women's number 2.
We also have Jake Tiger on men's number 2. He made finals last year, but if you guys remember from the stream last year, Tyler and I were talking about who was wearing Jake Tiger's skin, because he apparently had a bunch of caffeine during ISO and then didn't really perform the way we were thinking about it.
Yeah, he was a little off his game. Just if you maybe don't try energy drinks for the first time right before a big finals, but whatever. Lesson learned. I'm sure he's not going to do that again this year. And we have Pierre on men's number 3, as well as Riley Galloway, who, again, getting close like so many of the women, just a really hard time in these last couple of moves, making this big lock-off and beyond reach. Caleb talking about how bad that foothold volume feels right now because it is so new.
Okay, so Jake was trying that match. Tyler's shaking his head.
That is a head shake right there, man.
One of the things that Nathan was talking about was that their prediction for the women's round was 2 tops to go to finals.
Really? Okay. Well, there's a very high likelihood that that will be true, at least for the 6th place climber right now. I'm very curious to see what happens again, because some of the climbers out at the top for the women's category, Leah, B, Bronwyn, Indiana, like these are exceptionally talented climbers.
Absolutely.
Have all made finals before, if not, or sorry, I shouldn't say that. B Evans, I don't believe has ever been in a BlocBuster finals before, but they have like incredible track records in Ontario, so we should see some good stuff. And it looks like Audrey's going to wrap up her round, close it out with the judges. And let's see. She goes for the stab, and that works out.
This beta, I think, is really risky, but also I think it's the easier way. Keeping that tension between the toe hooks and trying to match toe hooks across the 2 kilter Tegan Kaijus, just really, really difficult.
Well, yeah, all I would worry about for Audrey's attempt that round is her left hand was still really far out, and I think it made it hard to put a lot of weight on the right foot, because you do need to rock over that foot to push you out. Anyway, we're going into the next round, and our next climbers are the 2nd place finishers out of qualifiers. B. Evans from Toronto, as well as Dylan Safri from Guelph.
Do we know where Dylan is climbing now?
So Dylan, I think he's still going to school in Toronto, but living out of Guelph. So I think he's back to training out of his Guelph facility and spending some time at gyms around Toronto here and there.
That
but I
commute
think
must be horrible.
It is a garbage commute, I'm sure, man. Yeah. Don't worry, man. When you graduate art school, you'll make all that money back.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Just kidding. We both know how that goes. You're going to be a climbing industry lifer forever. So Evangelina Briggs and Mitchell Haight there on their final problems.
I think Evangelina's going to finals.
So I've just been disconnected from the last couple of rounds, so I haven't really seen what's
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Happened.
Probably right now the comments in the live stream are just like, "You're wrong, Dustin. You don't know what you're talking about. Why are you commentating?" While you were interviewing Caleb, I was completely disconnected.
There's nothing wrong with not keeping track of stuff in semifinals, especially when we can only see stuff on the screen. I think that's totally reasonable. You can find the scores BlocBuster.ca, but a top for Evangelina and a top for Madison.
You know who is going to finals?
Oh, Madison Fisher is cruising into finals, man.
Okay, so I want to talk about this, where Dylan is right now. We've seen a bunch of climbers get up there and have to decide which hand they're going with, and they've paused to really have an internal discussion with themselves about which hand am I going with, why does this body position feel so off?
Sure.
And I think that those kind of situations are what route setters are really looking for.
Well, now let me ask you a question, because the hold that those guys are going for on men's number 1 is a good rail. It's very in cut. All these guys are strong enough to hit that. Do you think that pause is being caused by the blocker back there, and now that they know they have to be accurate, they feel more pressure to do it perfectly that first time?
I think it's a combination of that and the body position, because you can see that their left foot is up and they're kind of almost perched on top of that long blocks volume. And I think that between that, the angle of the wall, the shot that we see on our right side right now doesn't really give credit to how steep that wall is and how much you're perching on top of that zone hold.
Yep.
And so I think for me, as a route setter, I find that interesting that the position of those holds, that situation is causing these competitive climbers to really have an internal discussion about which hand am I going to go with.
Sure. Yeah. And we got a replay here of Indiana Chapman going for the Gaston beta on women's number 2. This is the only successful beta we've seen used so far. And it looks like, I'm assuming she tops this.
I think this was a send.
Oh, such a nice, yeah, that pinch actually looks really good.
I love that.
Girls, a little bit of the pogo.
I love that.
Throwback from
Indiana
what is it,
Chapman
Indiana?
is such a boss sometimes. Sometimes she just goes,
Yeah.
regardless of what she's got. regardless of how bad the holds are, body position, she just throws, and I love that. I love seeing confidence in competitive climbers like that. So we have B up on women's number 1. There's been 3 tops on women's number 1 for
I'm not even going to try.
Yeah, all right. So you're
We've
just
seen
going
Madison, we've seen Bronwyn, and then I would have to think back super, super hard if I wanted to go
May.
any further. So, oh yeah, May. No, good call. Good call. Nice work from B. Evans.
She's looking really strong.
Yeah, it's a good start.
I feel like
a really
she
good
came
start.
out of ISO ready to go to finals, which, I mean, that's what it takes to be a competitive climber.
And I mean, ISO at CR is a fairly cold room for the most part, so maybe
that's a really interesting point. Yesterday, when I was talking to the route setters, because the qualifying round was in the other side of the gym, they were talking about how the temperature would affect the round because it was colder than when they were forerunning, and obviously that causes more friction and stuff like that. So it's interesting that they thought about it in this round where there's a lot of lights on the boulders. It's really, really warm on this side of the gym.
Yeah, compared to ISO. Yeah, no, you're right. And we're about to go into changeover, and this is going to bring out our final athletes for semifinals, the climbers that came out ranked first, both with 5 tops. You can welcome Burlington/Oakville homegirl Leah Wachowski and Lucas Uchida, the returning, defending champion of BlocBuster.
I mean, if we're going to add like a bunch of like places that she's lived, let's just add Ottawa.
Sure, yeah. Everybody has to spend a year in Ottawa. Apparently, that's like a thing you do. But Leah, she's. We were talking about how Madison Fisher has been relegated to second place at the last 2 BlocBusters, being knocked down by Bronwyn Karnas each time. Leah's been living in the 3rd place for the last 2 years as well. So the podium has been exactly the same the previous 2 years, and I'm sure Leah and Madison are really itching to shake that up and knock Bronwyn on her game. And we were kind of talking about how the unique format for finals, really creates a lot of opportunities for upsets because it is an elimination final.
Yeah.
So after the first problem, we are knocking 2 climbers out immediately.
Yeah, they
after
just get handed their
problem,
their paychecks right there.
Yeah, exactly. So if you got to really prove yourself on that first problem, and if you don't bring the game on that first one, you're not going to even see the second or third problem. So a lot of room for upsets. And here you got Riley Galloway finishing her round with a solid top on number 4. Great work from her.
So one of the things that I was talking about with Caleb yesterday was his process for setting the finals round. Traditionally, when you set a finals round, you look at boulder number 1 as like maybe the easiest. And when Caleb was discussing the finals round for his round with James, the owner of Climbers Rock, James was like, no, the first boulder has to be hard because you have to get people out of finals.
Yeah, no, I think that's a conversation I would like to have with the route setters. Hopefully we'll grab an interview with them before finals, and then we can air that so we can get some perspective on what that process was. And, of course, here's that top finishing off Riley Galloway's round.
Unless they're stressing. Because they might also have not expected these results.
Fortunately, because we're hosting, of course, the Citizens Round. If you guys are in Burlington, you want to come out and climb. They've got a ton of really beautiful, fun-looking problems here. Citizen Round starts at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, if I'm right. Register online at blockbuster.ca for $35. Come and hang out, enjoy the climbing, and then final starts at 7 p.m. here in Burlington. So if you're watching this and you're nearby, make sure you come out and climb because the problems are excellent, and then you'll be able to watch the best bouldering show, I'm going to say, in Canada, straight up. Like the vibe in here is unreal. I know there's some other like top tier events like Block Shop Open, but just the atmosphere and the reverb in this room, the DJ on top of the wall, it's going to be a really, really fun night. We hope you guys make it out. Skip the Golden Globes, and of course. Yeah, we got the producers in our ear making sure we remind you guys of how good the broadcast is. And, of course, we're going to play against that. We want you in the room.
Whoa.
Nice
Leah
talk from
Wachowski.
Leah. Good stuff. And I'm going to assume Lucas topped as well.
Okay, so Zach is on men's number 2, and men's number 2 hasn't seen Ascend yet.
You're right, and it's down to the final 3 guys, Zach, Dylan, and Lucas.
Yeah, if anybody's going to do that boulder, it's the 3 of these guys.
And this is Estelle Park going for the whip. And come on, Zach, big crank, buddy. Not quite. Of course, he trains on these holds all the time. The holds that he's throwing to, the Atomic Simple crimps are like a staple crimp at this particular gym. So he's very familiar with how those feel. That shouldn't be a surprise for him. And this is just about like using all that energy and focusing everything through each move and actually finishing up the problem. Only 1 minute left, though, so that's probably going to be one last attempt for him. Jake Tiger getting back on men's number 3 as well. Really hoping he gets back into finals because I think he had a lot of fun, and I feel like he probably thinks he didn't get his money's worth after being so shaky last year. So I think he wants to have a.
Whoa, Jake Tiger!
Wow,
interesting.
Jake.
I think he's going to give it another burn too.
He should, but what's frustrating is he has the time on the clock. He could have been, in my opinion, a little more patient and.
No, I think he was trying to like when he was grabbing that hold. Zach looking a little shaky, but he's fighting through it.
This is looking excellent on Zach up in the top left-hand corner. Hopefully we can get an angle.
Oh,
nice top.
That is
from
the
Zach.
first top on men's number 2.
We'll definitely get a replay of that one.
Jake is going to start his last attempt now. What I was saying before.
That's it for Jake, unfortunately.
No way, he's a fast climber. He's going to get on again.
15 seconds. No, okay, we're placing the bet already. There you go, man. No, I don't think 10 seconds is enough to get you through this thing. Just getting into that toe. But if he can, it would be unreal. And we're turning around to see if he tops it, but no, he came down. So nothing for Jake. This is the incredible crimp from
this
Zach.
Is like, so when Zach sticks this hold, you can see like a little bit of Caleb Thomas being psyched that a boulder went. But you can see like a little bit of shake and a little bit of uncertainty on that left hand before coming into that undercling.
Yep.
As soon as he came into the undercling, though, he looked like he knew the boulder was going to go.
Yeah, I think after that you can get your feet set up in a logical position because at that point the feet aren't as confusing and you are making a final throw to that finish hold. You've done the hard part at that point. You just got to set yourself up, take the win.
So I think if we could pull up results, we don't have to pull it up on the screen. I just want to pull it up on Tyler's laptop.
No, either is good. We're not going to have a lot of these results because, of course, they don't get entered until the climbers are finished their round.
Yeah, but okay. So what I was going to say is I think 3 tops gets you into finals, which means
just might.
We don't have an MC anymore.
In my opinion, Sean's still going through. I'm holding that down. Anyway, here's Indiana Chapman on women's number 3.
Look at Anthony Richards, though.
Indiana's the kind of climber that can finish this. I'm expecting her to get this top. She'll learn from every attempt and figure out the best way to do it.
Okay, so Dylan Saffery up on men's number 2. He already has a top, and
he can make it go. He's the kind of guy.
Oh my gosh, that beta though.
That's so gross.
Madison Fisher gets 4 tops and
Easy
she finishes
top. Oh, so Dylan made that move look good, but I guess he kind of came off as he was trying to move out of that right-hand crimp.
Gosh, that beta.
Dylan has had such a good season so far. It's unreal.
He is looking incredibly fit. He's positioned to have like one of the best seasons he's ever had. We'll see what lead season brings for him. Usually he excels in lead season. So.
Yeah, no, I think he's been dominant in the open circuit. Normally he's been a guy that's fighting to be a consistent winner, but now he is a consistent winner, at least for now. So, I think he could be a really strong climber.
So this is Madison's top. You'll notice that the climbers rock beta of using the lip as a hold.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. If it's there, you can use it. So watching B. Evans on this climb is very interesting for me. Both of the women on the screen right now, B on the left, Indy on the right, I think have the smarts to figure this out. For B, it's probably going to be about getting the Gaston in this move that she's coming up to right now rather than reaching through with the left hand. There's the Gaston. It seems so obvious to a lot of these climbers right away. It is not something I would have thought about from the ground at all.
Anthony Richards came to win.
Yeah, Indiana wraps hers up as well, and B's now just one move away. He's
going to wrap this up.
Nice hat trick from the crew on women's 2 and 3, and Anthony as well. and we'll see if Dylan can finish
I
this.
wonder if Dylan doesn't see the undercling as a viable beta. But it doesn't matter because that is obviously
Don't curse it, dude. Don't curse it. Okay, that's looking good. And, of course, again, excellent finish holds. Oh, if he tries to go up, this is more like it.
Oh.
Yikes.
Yeah,
I
you
wonder
can see him.
It looked like he was avoiding the left-hand throw for a second.
Yeah,
he
and
set
you can
up
see
for
that.
it.
Like, I think the shaking of his head was actually him just having a conversation with himself, being like, "I should have just gone right hand."
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Here are your tops from Anthony and B. Good stuff from him. And, of course, yeah, once you figure out getting into that big undercling jump
I
and B,
think
the rest of
Anthony's
this
going
is easy.
to going to finals.
He might, yeah. I'm not making any guesses yet because there's so many results to still come in. But yeah, things are looking really good for Anthony. I mean, like he of course came out of qualifiers in 4th place, which is a great start to your weekend.
So the real thing that's happening right now with Dylan is he's I think he's in a process of deciding whether or not this is worth it to give another go.
Sure, yeah. I mean, he's certainly got the time to do it, but and he knows that it's already been taught by Zach. He's definitely aware of that. So at this point, yeah, he's probably just trying to figure out an awareness of, okay, where is the field right now? He in ISO knew how quiet it was. It was quiet for a very long time.
Okay, so he is going to get on.
With all 22 seconds, this doesn't.
I don't think that's enough.
Man, if he's got the right estimate, then that's really good for him for narrowing down how much time
But
he
I
needs.
don't think it's enough time.
Yeah,
I'm not convinced. Like, he's down to 10 seconds, and he hasn't even been on, like,
Yeah. No, you get. I guess a lot of that hesitation was probably just how tired he was after those 2 long attempts.
But so, like, that would be a conversation with himself where he might want to sit down and save energy for the other 2 bullets.
Sure.
You only need 3.
Yeah, but again, when you're that close on the climb,
I
you get
agree,
into your head,
yes.
you think of how much like cost you've sunken into the climb, and
I
you
guess,
say, okay,
but
let me
if
just
you
go
go into
top
finals in 6th instead of 1st, it doesn't really matter.
Well, again,
okay.
like, you know,
I don't know what finals looks like. Never mind.
he's,
Don't listen to me.
He's not sure. Anyway, problem number 1 is done, and we've now just got climbers on problems 2 through 3. So on problems 2 is Lucas Yoshida and Leah Wachowski. On problems 3 is Zach Richardson and Brahman Karnas, and problems 4 is Estelle Park and Jake Tiger for their final climbs. Oh, Leah's.
Yeah, no, this is a
Straight
non-issue.
flash
Like, this
from
is
Leah.
non-issue.
I
for
told
Leah
myself not to
Wachowski.
predict how climbs are going to go, but like,
This is a non-issue for Leah Wachowski.
Lock it
She's
down.
like, okay, so where are the real boulders that I climb for this round?
oh, I did it to myself.
I did it too.
She's going to be mad about that. Shouldn't make too much of a difference in final results, but Zach as well lost an attempt up high on that. Jake should cruise men's number 4.
Yeah, you're doing it again where you're making predictions. You know that, right?
You're right. They are exactly where they are, and I'll talk about the rest when it happens. Oh, so nice from Bronwyn, just really confident making that full reach. She might have a slightly longer span than some of the climbers, but
She almost missed that crimp, though.
oh no, falling off the bump hold. She's
What
frustrated
is
by
Jake
that.
Tiger doing?
This is unnecessary. Okay, but straight up, that has been a finished position on that wall before.
I know, but it's okay.
not in a comp climb, just
What
in a
is
straight
Lucas
up
doing?
recreation.
Why is that?
Okay, baby, this is Climbers Rock. This is the shit I love. Nice job, Lucas, with the horn wrap. Okay, so for anybody watching, that left horn is not very good. The one on the right is incredible. So at the top of the
I just
45,
don't-
the right horn's really good. It's
What am I
commonly
looking
used
at?
in beta.
Okay.
But I'm digging this, man. I'm loving what's going on. This is the stuff I live for. Just seeing some really creative stuff, and that's a really unique thing. This particular wall is built in an era of top out climbing, right?
Yeah,
Where that
absolutely.
was a feature that wall companies were selling
So
to you.
this gives it a better angle. You can see the wrap in Lucas's hand isn't.
So good. I love that,
It's
man.
not
That's
good.
so-
It's not good at all.
But enough of a wrap.
And Zach finishing men's number 3.
Yeah, no, nice from him. But you got to say, like, you're on 2 very in-cut crimps on that orange volume, and he decided to go against it. And
Okay, so this is live right now. Leah
Yes.
Wachowski is.
so she's going to redeem herself on her second
This is
attempt.
her third go.
This is her third go.
Yeah, she fell off.
Oh, she fell at the start.
Yeah.
You're right. Nice job. Cleaning
And
that up.
I think like after the broadcast, I want to go and look at that finishing hold because I think it's not nearly as good as we're looking.
I kind of assumed you and I were just going to go session these climbs.
Oh,
just have a good time, you know?
Quick. That's
It'll
awesome.
be,
I did bring my shoes. So.
We'll get some perspective. You did bring your shoes?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not. Is that like your emergency route setter thing where you're like, somebody will need me to forerun? And here's a replay of Leah's climb. Looking way more confident this round and, of course, manages to actually clean it up. You can see how shouldery this move is, really having to get that left foot up to oppose the undercling.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out that
at this point it's just a cruise.
I'd like to point out the volume that zone hold is on.
Mm-hmm.
The face that's facing her that they're using as a smear foot.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's
not
steeper
even
than vertical.
Yeah, like it's not even a vertical wall.
Yeah. Let's finish this up, BK. It feels like a big move, but the hold's amazing. Just get all the way over. There it is. Nice job from her. Good stuff.
We have a cameraman on top of the wall, correct?
Yes. Yeah, we do.
Maybe Marcel could move to look at the finish hold of women's number 2.
You looking for the purple hold? Yeah. So the
I'd
purple
like to
hold
see-
at
I just
the
wanna see
top
the
of the
top of it.
steep wall. If he wants to go over and just show us what that looks like from the climber side, that might be really interesting. But yeah, this is Bronwyn finishing up that climb. Caleb Thomas looks like he's bragging quite a lot about how well this round is going.
He also has to drive back to Montreal after this.
Nice work from the setters, though. This has been
shout out to the route setting crew. We've talked with Caleb and Nathan. Also on the route setting crew was Jamie Roy.
Yeah, so Jamie Roy was assisting Caleb with all the men's routes. Mark Lee was assisting Nathan Lewis with the women's routes, and Matt Phillips is the chief setter for the event, so he's been overseeing the organization of it all, and I think he single-handedly set the entire Citizens Comp just in one go.
So impressive.
Guy's a hero. So nice work to all the boys. Anyway, we've got a camera angle of the finish hold of women's number 2 as we see this pan go up. So it's basically the same pinch.
Okay, so it's not great, but it's not bad per se.
Yeah. But it is another blind throw.
Yes.
All right, so we're back here with our 2 second place qualifiers, Dylan on the left and B. Evans on the right. Giving a diligent little brush to those crimps, which has definitely thrown some people off.
Indy's up on. Oh yeah. Indy finishes
Nice finish from her.
Women's number 4. You can see Dylan Saffery and B. Evans now on problems number 3. It's interesting to watch Dylan climb because he's such a static and controlled climber.
Yeah, straight up. So for myself, when I was coaching recently, I didn't have a lot of kids that would climb in his category, so I didn't watch him climb all that much. And especially in the last couple of years, most of my involvement in comps has been judging, so I usually end up just watching one problem over and over forever. So I haven't spent a lot of time watching his particular climbing. I mostly just watch his results, and his results are this: just getting so many tops this season and dominating, winning provincials, like really excellent performance. I didn't get to pick him in my fantasy picks, but a really excellent choice for anybody that's bet money on this. He's not somebody you should be ignoring.
Tyler's talking about me.
Even though
Dylan is in my pool.
Last year in BlocBuster he only came 11th, but the year before that he did finish 2nd. So we'll see what comes around this year.
Anthony Richards is still on men's number 4.
Yeah, he just fell off, so I think that's at least 2 attempts given the
But
clock
he needs
time.
this to make finals.
I haven't been keeping enough track to know.
He has 2 tops.
Okay.
And as I said, I think you need 3 to go to finals.
We'll see what happens with the rest of the boys. Again, like some of these climbs have occasionally been kind of jinxing the climbers, where they've looked easy for some, and then they've proven to be very hard for others. This climb is a great example. Like, of the first 5 climbers out in the men's category, so those are the climbers ranked 20th to 16th. 4 of them, I believe, topped this men's number 4, and now we have a climber who is ranked 4th coming out of qualifiers, and he's getting stumped on this thing, right? So it's a really interesting climb. I thought it was going to be a gimme for all 20 climbers.
We talked about that at the start of the start of today, and again, I think it goes back to have it like sometimes you have easier boulders that the climbers will screw up. Like Anthony right now is trying so hard on this boulder, and like those are 90-degree edges, like they're jugs.
Yeah, no, and
what is this knee bar like?
This is, so long as he keeps this stable, doesn't try throwing for it, and just goes for a lock off, he's going to be able to get it. Just not locking off far enough. I think it would be really neat. We won't be able to use it for this broadcast, unfortunately, but I definitely want to kind of get a closer analysis of the positioning from all of the boys that got on this climb, because for some of them it looks so easy, and for others it just looks so hard.
Yeah, well, at the start of the day we were like, okay, so number 4 is not like a non-issue, and
just even on first appraisal, even though there are no screw-ons on those, it's just such a simple climb. First of all, to interpret for the most part, but also just the grip and the number of corners on it. You have so many options, and you just know you're going to top this thing. B. Evans on women's number 3, crimping her way up through this section, trying to get set up for the big lock-off reach, which has been the stopper for most of the climbers in this round. Oh, almost with the save. 50 seconds.
Okay, so she's psyched.
She wants it.
Yeah, she wants it. She's going to get back on. I'm curious about Anthony, like how long. This is his last boulder, so he doesn't, like, there's no strategy of, like, oh, I need to rest a little bit more or something like that. Like,
no, exactly.
He also looks a little tired. Like, when I was talking to him yesterday, he was saying, like,
That's
he was
it
saying
for him.
yeah. Oh, maybe. He might get on. No, he's getting on again.
Oh, wow. Just looking at his composure coming off, he just looked tired.
Well, he was saying that he's root setter strong right now, which to translate that for regular people means that you're good at 1 or 2 moves.
Sure.
Because generally in forerunning, we try 1 or 2 moves
exactly
at the limit. So he was saying yesterday that he's really strong in root setter strength right now, and really good at like doing 2 or 3 moves and then resting a bunch.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Which, if anybody knows comp climbing, it's the exact opposite. You need fitness because there's 4 boulders and there's a lot of them. Okay, so here are results right now. Dylan Barks in first.
Yeah, and I think this is the most interesting thing, is that Dylan and Sean have held up that lead with just 3 tops so far, with only 4 more results to come in. They're both going into finals.
Yeah.
All right.
And so we have women's results. Madison Fisher.
Those results are so stark. That's such an unreal separation between those climbers.
Yeah, you can see
and
the front runners, Indy and Madison, are just like 4 tops, and then it drops off to 2.
Yeah, no, that's a really interesting round. So currently we've got just Lucas Yoshida, Leah Wachowski, Zach Richardson, and Bronwyn Karnas on the wall here. For most of these climbers, these should all be flashes, I think, at this point.
You're doing that thing again where you predict.
You're right. I didn't say nothing. Nice climb from Leah, so that's a good third. And did Zach? Yeah, okay.
Zach topped
that. All right, and so Bronwyn Karnas going up to this finish. And Lucas Yoshida holding that crimp. Easy for Bronwyn, easy for Lucas. And we've got a ton of time left on the clock now that all the climbers are done. Let's throw out a commercial to thank our sponsors.
Not, right?
We'll be back in just a moment. Thanks for watching BlocBuster 2019, presented by Climbers Rock.
Don't go anywhere, guys.
And so thanks to Mountain Equipment Co-op, who are supporters of the men's finals. They'll be providing some swag for the finalists, some big gift cards, sounds like. And so at this point, if you're just joining us or have joined us recently, this is the semifinal round of BlocBuster 2019, presented by and hosted by Climbers Rock in Burlington, Ontario. Tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time is the finals. And if you've caught BlocBuster before, it's typically been a fairly standard World Cup style finals. It's a nice event for all the climbers. It's some great practice before nationals, but this year they have switched it up. I love competitions that are willing to try a different approach to competition. So we're doing an elimination finals. It's 3 problems in finals. You gotta, so there's only 1, 2, and 3. After the very first problem, we're going to knock out the bottom 2 climbers. After the second problem, we knock out 2 more, and that means on the final problem number 3, is a head-to-head between our last 2 climbers. Winner walks away with $1,500. Second place, only half that, unfortunately. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very interesting from an athlete perspective. From our perspective, of course, there's going to be a lot to keep track of.
I've already, blanket statement, I'm going to screw up the
and
live
of course,
stream at least once.
We're going to try and talk to some of the route setters and get an interview. So when you guys join us tonight at 7, or maybe a little bit earlier, we're going to have some pre-roll stuff so you guys can get some perspective on how does your route setting approach change when you have to eliminate climbers after a single problem and try and separate that field appropriately so the winners manage to get through to that final problem.
Well, that's the part that I'm really interested in. Being a route setter myself, I'm really curious as to how they approached it. Thinking about it from my own perspective, I don't know how I would prepare for something like this because I haven't set a comp like this before. So I don't know what I would do and the decisions I would make in terms of difficulty, in terms of style of boulders and stuff like that. So I'm really curious to get the route setter's perspective and really see what they went into.
And we only have 40 seconds before our next climbers come out, so the climbing is not done yet. Results aren't finished. We still have climbing to go. But I think my perspective would be, because you have to knock out climbers after the first climb, you would really, really want to know who those climbers are before you set the problems.
But they don't.
And unfortunately, just because of practicality, you have to set them ahead of time. But here's our first look at who's going to be going into finals. So confirmed. Well, I shouldn't say confirmed. We'll double check that when the head judge gives their approval.
Confirmed.
But right now it looks like Zach Richardson, Dylan Barks, Sean Hunter, and Eric Libby are going into finals, regardless of what happens with Lucas and Dylan, with their results still to come in. And for women, Madison Fisher, Bronwyn Carness, Indiana Chapman, and Estelle Park so far looks like they're guaranteed finals, assuming that these scores don't change after appeals, pending results from Leah Wachowski and B. Evans. So we're back. We're now just left with problem number 4. Dylan. We got 3 Dylans in this category. I just realized that. That's why I've been so thrown off. Dylan Safri from Guelph, Ontario, taking a look at the start of men's number 4, and B. Evans giving a brush to all of those kilter Jimmy Southern slopers, which have, I think this problem, Caleb was saying it's his favorite problem of the comp so far, in that it looks like a fairly simple kind of North American kilter haul of just let's throw up some slopers, compress that stuff, get to the finish. But the nuance of the angle of those slopers, that 45-degree wall, and not having that foot kicker there through that arch, the different things that come up through route setting with that created a really unique problem.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. It's definitely one of my favorite boulders. I have questions about that foot on the right, like the far right-hand side. I wonder what this boulder would look like without that foot.
I agree. I think propulsion to the finish hold would be impossible, or the heel hooks on those crap slopers would be like...
Oh, the heel would be so high.
It would be really important and very difficult. Like, again, there's not much in those. So the southern slopers of this size do have kind of more defined gripping surfaces than those really big features that most people know. But still really bad, especially on the angle that they're set.
Am I wrong, or does it look like Dylan is climbing very, very, very...
The dude doesn't look tired.
Yeah.
Like, he looks just fine. And that's it, man.
He also just looks a little insecure. Like, it was...
Oh, really?
Every move was kind of very tentative.
Oh, I got the... for me, it's looked like he's just been fairly collected and just taking his time. But
okay,
maybe we'll talk to him about that later on.
I'm curious. I wonder if he's like... to me, it looks like he's locking off a little extra, moving just a little bit more slowly, just trying to be like very, very cautious almost.
Well, I think he's always been a strong male climber, and especially through your youth years, I think there's, let's say, the tendency of a lot of male climbers through their teens, especially for somebody that's always had really incredible strength like Dylan, has maybe emphasized a weakness of control. If you can get away with that strength, then you don't have to put so much precision in. If he's been maturing over the last couple seasons and focusing more on that kind of technique, then that could be maybe one of the partial reasons for this development.
It's just interesting because I think that even when we were watching the replay, he snuck a heel toe between the zone,
Nice.
like the zone volume and the large rail, and I wonder if there's like a level of overcompensation and
Possibly.
timidness to
Sure.
to like finishing this round.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And of course, B. Evans left with 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock. The clock's not on the screen right now, but we have one in front of us, so
She has 3 tops though,
we
right?
can tell you. I am not even going to try, man. We'll find out when we get there.
You've just given up on like.
I forget things the second the TV is refreshed to a new frame. I can only remember what's literally
I just wonder,
happening
like,
to me.
if she has 3 tops, technically she didn't top number 3.
I can no, number 3 was the black hole. Yeah, I can't recall. I don't have.
Yeah,
a
Tyler's given up
recollection
on
of
like
her.
giving me results.
I do not try.
I'm
getting
sure there's
results
people in
semifinals.
the stream chat right now being like, Dustin, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're not looking at the scores right now, so we'll find out later. Anyway, this is B. Evans with 1 minute and 6 seconds left on the clock. Looking good. This should be it for her.
You did that thing again when you
I didn't predict anything. I was just making a suggestion.
Yeah.
Nice toss. Good stuff from B. Evans. Great finish to her
Awesome.
round.
And you can see on your screen you've got Lucas, Uchida, and Leah that are going to finish up this round. Yeah, this was a great round, actually. Like, I think that
It was.
there was I walked in, looked at the boulders and thought, like, maybe they're too easy, but they actually did a really good job.
I think my expectations were a little bit confounded because I went in looking at the women's problems and thinking, okay, for the most part, these are look like fairly simple problems. There might be a couple cruxes that I was worried about.
For sure.
And in some way that proved true even more than I expected. Like, those problems were harder for way longer than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we would start seeing 3 tops around the 10th climber mark.
Absolutely.
And it never happened. For men on the opposite end, I thought they were going to be much harder. I thought we'd see way fewer tops, and a lot of those problems actually went a bit earlier than I expected. So all in all, confounded expectations, but and the thing is, it's putting out results that look right. We're seeing so far in the results the people that I would expect to go to finals. Maybe like one dark horse-ish, like Estelle Park. A very strong climber. When you see her results whenever she climbs up here in Ontario, she is generally a podium finisher. So not a huge surprise. But again, this has been a deep field. I'm sure some people will be a little bit disappointed with how they finished. But all in all, yeah, very good round. And we finally get to see our last 2 climbers, Lucas Uchida and Leah Wachowski.
Also, I'd like to point out that disappointed is part of being a competitive climber. Sometimes you don't have the results you want.
This is how we sell it to new climbers. Yeah, well, I hope you like the feeling of disappointment. Because that's just
Do you
going to be
like emotions? Because you're going to feel
that's a
all
part of
the
your life
feels.
right now.
So Leah Wachowski up on women's number 4. Lucas is still previewing, and he's into the full minute.
Yeah, maybe it speaks to how immature a climber I am. But when I looked at this problem, I had my sequence finished already. But good on him for making sure. And Leah just cruised that.
Leah made quick work of that.
That's done. So we're seeing
she's
Leah
going
in
to finals.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the only time that I'm going to be able to say confidently that people are going to finals and going to the next boulder, because during finals I'm going to probably say something like, "Oh yeah, they're going to the next boulder," and then they're going to be eliminated. So.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for us to see how the finals format works out. It's rather than 4 problems, it's only 3. And again, you only get to try the next problem if you've done well enough on the problem before. You get eliminated if you don't cut it. So these climbers are going to experience a mental situation that they haven't had to deal with before. So as much as, over, the course of a round, you're able to even things out. You understand that you can get away with losing some attempts here and there because you'll get another boulder. You have one shot in this finals format. And I'm curious to see how the competitors cope with that in the next couple hours as they go out for their food, as they start thinking about these things. Once they know they're in finals, you're suddenly confronted with this realization that there's only one boulder that matters now. It's that first boulder, and you can't mess it up. And I want to know what kind of stress that puts them under.
Yeah, I'm curious. So we just finished off the round. Lucas topped and Leah topped. So now we'll try to get a handle on results and see what who is. Well, we'll confirm for you guys who is actually going to finals.
Yeah. We'll just give a second to make sure that the results have been all fully entered and final
absolutely.
Before we pull them up. But yeah, I think all in all, an excellent round. Again,
what a great round! I'm
props.
psyched on it. Is this official? This is final?
It may be subject to a small appeal period, but these are all of the results as entered by the scorekeeper. So we are seeing Madison Fisher, Brahman Karnas, Leah Wachowski. They've been the podium for the last 3 years, and they are back in. Indiana Chapman 2 years ago was in finals, and she's back. B. Evans and Estelle Park. This is their first appearance in finals. Very exciting category. And then
what a great round! Like I've got to give another shout out to the root setters.
Yeah.
This round for me looked way easier than it was.
Sure.
And all of the boulders created something.
Yeah, and again, men's results up here. Lucas, Zach, Dylan, they've all been in finals. In fact, Sean Hunter years ago was in finals here before it was branded BlocBuster, but he's been here before. And I think, was it Eric Libke that's actually going through? Because that means we do have a newcomer as well, and we've got two Americans in the men's final by itself.
Excellent.
So,
and also,
cool.
we lost our MC. For those of you that don't know, Sean Hunter was scheduled.
Pick of the year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man. I'm good at this. It's fine.
Sure, whatever.
I'm so. Okay.
Sure, whatever.
Well, and this is just banter at this point, but he was going to be paid to be MC. We got to find out if the money's being paid to be MC is more than what he expects to earn in finals, because that's probably going to influence his decision.
He just foregoes finals because he's like, I'm getting paid, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So at this point, we know who's in finals. I just want to ask you for some rough predictions. If you have an idea of who you think your top 2 or 3, let's say, because we're only going to have 2 climbers going to that final problem, who do you think it's going to be for the women?
For the women, I think that Leah Wachowski and Madison Fisher.
Sure. It's so hard for me because those top 3, Leah, Bronwyn,
yeah, they've
Madison,
all switched positions, and they've all shared the podium.
Yeah,
and there
dominant.
was that one year where they were all in the same youth category, and they all just played roll the dice with
best youth category ever, man. I love that.
Who's going to show up?
Yeah, the 2000-2001 cohort, so good. For the men, I think I'm just going to go with history. I'm going to put it to Zach and Lucas.
Interesting.
But the hard part is Dylan Safri, because he has looked so good in these last 2 rounds. Dylan Barks too, but Safri just, I have more experience watching him over the last couple months, and it's been consistent, right? Every single time this guy is in the top section.
No, absolutely. But it just depends on what kind of style the root setters have set as well. If it's a fully American round, which this gym is built around, then Dylan Barks has that experience.
For Dylan Barks, I don't even know if it's American route setting. It's just if it's close to the stuff he's been climbing outside for the last couple of years, then he's just going to crank on it. But yeah, winner's going to be walking away with $1,500 tonight. We're going live with finals. I think the show starts at 7 o'clock. We might go live a little bit earlier with some interviews. We'll see what's up. So make sure you're at youtube.com/ClimbersRockOfficial or at blockbuster.ca. So you can catch all of the content as we go live for the elimination finals. All of that at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 4 p.m. Pacific.
We're really
going to
say
that's
that's
midnight Greenwich Mean Time. So all you guys out in the UK, make sure you're watching as well.
You guys are.
For now, I think we'll close it out. We're going to take a break. We're going to welcome the Citizens Comp. But anyway, my name is Tyler Norton.
And I'm Dustin Curtis, the purveyor of destiny.
And we'll see you guys back for finals tonight at Climbers Rock for BlocBuster 2019. See you next time.